Tonight on the podcast, we're going to be talking about Black Adam, Edward Norton returning to the Marvel Universe, and some Fantastic Four rumors. All tonight on the Absolute Geek Podcast. It's Friday night in Phoenix. You are listening to the Absolute Geek Podcast, the best damn podcast in the entire universe. My name is Lance. That's JP.
How you doing?
Matt's going to be joining us later, as well as Ish. Ish had to put his dildos away, so he'll be joining us later.
Find his hot dogs.
Yeah, it takes a while to put he's got cases and cases. It just takes a while to sort through them by color and by size, and but he'll be joining us shortly, as well as Matt. He had some family stuff come up, but he's going to be here in time for us to talk about Black Adam. So before we begin, JP, how was your week?
No complaints for the week. Long week, but glad it's Friday.
Glad it's Friday, huh? Yeah,
Yep.
Me too, man. Like this week just felt like it was dragging on and on and on, just never ended. But Joe's Duelin's on, Patrick's on, Sticks. What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in.
Put the comments on. Nice. There we go.
Yeah, man. But I just felt like it was just never ending, man. This week just kept going. And it wasn't even a busy week. It was just long.
Yeah, as you get older, it gets the weeks get shorter. You start counting the months, they say, and this week drug on. I agree, but I did a lot of traveling, so yeah.
Did you? Where'd you go?
Nights. I had to go back to Pittsburgh for some stuff, and driving in that night, staying over at the parents, and then or my dad's, and then getting up, going to some places, and then driving back. Like it was just all day, just no time to sit and relax. It wasn't an enjoyable trip. It was just trip to the Berg for.
What's up, Hartman? Did you pick up anything on your journeys?
I did not. I did not pick up anything on my journeys because there's a great store in Pittsburgh, which I was close to. I did not stop anywhere. I did make a purchase. Went to that store I told you guys about, the antique store the next day after the podcast on Friday.
Yeah.
Got a couple things, and then I bought something on Saturday after the antique store that I got shipped to me, and I had it by Monday, which was awesome. There's always something about sending someone money, friends and family you never met before.
Yeah.
PayPal.
Yeah, so, that can be nerve-wracking, man. Like I had a table being built for me from this guy, and he wasn't willing to like pay the 6% or whatever. When you do
goods
Venmo.
and services.
Yeah. And so I'm like, dude, well, like I was super nervous. It was $150 down payment to have him build my table. Which it's times like that I wish I lived in Pennsylvania, because I'd just go down to the Amish dude and say, hey, I need a table.
Yeah, they're interesting when you even deal with them. I've dealt with them many times. The Amish by me, yeah, I'll tell you about that story when you're done with that one. But yeah.
So this guy, like I paid him $150. He says, all right, the table's done, but hey man, we didn't have time to like finish it, like stain the top and paint the bottom and whatever. And he's like, so I'll knock $100 off if you want to do that yourself. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine, I can do that. We were buying a circular table, and I don't have a tool to make the circle, you know what I mean? And it was it's a 6-foot circle, right? So you fit 8 chairs around it, big ass circle. And I was like, that's fine. Just finish it, because I'd already waited for like 3 months for this guy to finish this thing. Just finish it. I'll stain it and stuff myself. I get there, and the whole fucking top is like a Pringle, like wavy. You know what I mean?
Really? They didn't sand it down.
Yeah. No. It bowed because it's so big, and he used like individual like 6-inch planks. But he didn't like wood glue them together or put it through a planer or anything like that. So it just kind of like bowed, and
Oh man.
It's just real nasty looking. Then you look at the circle and it's not even a complete circle. I was like, well, I could have done that shit.
Yeah, I could have done with a handsaw.
Yeah, like I could have done that. So I'm like, dude, this thing's awful. I'm not taking it. Like, give me my $150 back. And then I had to hound him for like 4 weeks to give me my $150 back.
Yeah,
finally gave it back. But it's nerve wracking, dude, because I could have just fucking called Venmo or just filed a dispute with Venmo.
Yeah,
got my money back.
You did it goods and services, so you could do that, right?
No, he wasn't willing to pay the 6%, so I did friends.
That's right.
Family. Yeah. So and there's no security with that.
Nope. And that's you hound the guy for it, and I guess you don't have anyone close that can do it for that cheap, right? So that's.
Well, my neighbor's really good with it. And the only reason I was asking this guy to because my neighbor's built me a bunch of other stuff. She built our bed. She built our barn doors to our bathroom. She built our entertainment center, but it was like the middle of summer. So I'm like, she's like, I'm not doing that much work through summer because it's so damn hot. It's 120 degrees out. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. She's a friend of mine. So I'm like, I'm not going to put you through that hell. I'll ask this guy to do it. The stuff he posted online looks beautiful. He looks like he knows what he's doing. Well, what I didn't know is that he told his kid to do it, like his 18-year-old kid, and the 18-year-old kid built it, and it just looked like fucking shit.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That stinks.
So it was going to cost me $850 for this table, and then I got my neighbor to do it for $750, and it's like fucking golden, dude. Nice. It is perfect. She used butcher block instead of like little 4 or 6 inch planks, so it's like perfect, like pre-made butcher block, so it's like perfectly straight and hardwood, and yeah, I love that table. But
I have to send a picture of that one.
Yeah, but fucking friends and family, dude, that make your balls hurt, dude. Like that's tough, man. Like,
well, that's the thing that
goes wrong.
Today I had what's up, Matt? Nice to see you on.
What up, buddy?
Yeah, I just wander in.
He's just getting back from his second showing of Black Adam, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I just wandered in to hearing the Lions talk about his balls. So, it's
the conversation's good when that happens, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, this guy.
What mighty balls they are.
I heard that your wife rather deflated them.
No, the vasectomy doctor did that.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
What were you saying, JP?
I was saying this guy, I was going to buy the Dark Knight set, the Dark Knight Returns, that set from '86, Frank Miller. It's four issues. He wanted $90 for it or whatnot, shipped out. And I said, I don't like doing anything on Facebook. I don't trust Facebook. I do trust more Instagram. But on Facebook, I said to the guy, how about I give you $45 down? You send me the books, I'll send the other $45. And he was like, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. No one would do that. He says, the only way I send money is through goods and services. And I said, well, shit, sure, no problem. Most guys won't do that. Most people you deal with don't want to pay the 6%.
They're not willing to, the 6%.
But he wanted to do it that way. He said, for both of our protections. So I didn't buy the books because I'm not really looking for them. It was a nice deal. But again, I didn't want to take the risk with him on Facebook, but I had no problem on Instagram with a guy who was recommended to me by somebody else.
Yeah.
And I bought a Submariner 1 from this guy, and it showed up in 2 days. And so it worked out, but hopefully hopefully you stay that.
Send money on Instagram?
Yeah, you send it through PayPal, friends and family. So that's the concern is, he was recommended by somebody else. So there's a connection there, but I wouldn't just find someone on Instagram and start sending money. You run a risk there. So
I wish they would have like a seller ranking and buyer ranking on Facebook and Instagram, like eBay does.
Yep. But then you get someone who screws you over and gives you a bad rating on eBay, which just happened to me for, I don't even know why they gave me a bad rating. So now out of the 15 things I sold or 20 things, I got one bad rating. So that doesn't help my percentage out. So
they lose impact over time, right?
Yeah. The more you sell and the more you get better positive ratings, it takes away from that. So
what's up, Ish?
Yo. Ish.
Yeah.
Fresh from the newly minted Fazoli's, it's Ish.
Ish, did you hear us talking about why you were late?
No, I missed
You
everything.
didn't
About
hear you were listening to the
deflating
show on your way
Lance's
home.
balls.
I said Ish had to put away his dildo collection. It takes a while because he sorts them by color and size.
That's the best way to do it.
Yes, that is actually true. That is actually
just
true.
saying, Ish is closing up the comic book store, so he can't be here at 7:30. It starts to get boring, so we need to make up stories. Like Ish is hiking a mountain to find the Holy Grail or something like that.
Is this why you unfriended me on Facebook?
No, did you not see my post?
AGP
I had to start a
scandal.
new
Oh,
friend or a
You
new friend,
did?
a new Facebook. I had to start a new Facebook account. I have access to my old one, but only through my personal computer. I
He
don't have
said he
access on my
unfriended you
phone.
because he refused to see Black Adam.
You're still friends on the old one.
I figured there was like several pages of a list of reasons why you would unfriend me. But
No, Facebook, dude? So I was on the phone with them for 2 hours trying to get into my account. They can't get me into my account because I had 2-factor authentication. Because I do like ads and stuff for not only the podcast but for AmFam and everything. So you have to have 2-factor authentication. When I got my new phone, I no longer had access to my authenticator app, and they couldn't let me into my Facebook account. So I had one that I started like 2 years ago that I'm just starting up again. I'm going through the process of friend requesting everybody for my old one, but it only lets you do like 10 a day. I've got 950 friends.
Nah, he's just segregating people. So now you know where you stand depending
Yeah,
on what
we can
Facebook
stand.
page
Yeah,
you're part of.
I
Invite
am
in 3
racist
weeks,
towards
you're-
people that eat
Yes.
You're on the C
Tuna
list.
now I get to re-add you to the Star Trek group.
I am racist to people that eat tuna boat sandwiches. That's what it is. That's the real reason.
Sticks
to
has
the
got
core.
the cure right there. He said, go in on the PC and take off the 2-factor authentication. And
Can't. Tried. Dude,
You know
I've
that-
tried everything. I need the stupid
That
code
happened with
to
me
get
on
into.
Coinbase.
So I'm logged into the Facebook account and I need a code to get into the 2-factor authentication to remove it, even though I'm already in the account. I've tried everything, dude.
and then you're going to tell me that you have like $2 billion in Bitcoin sitting in that Coinbase account. So now you can't access it, right?
No,
You're gonna be one of
that totally
those?
happened to me. And I got a new phone, and when I re-downloaded the authentication app, it wouldn't let me log in no matter what because it was still like logged in on the old phone or something stupid like that. So I had
With
to go
a
through this
coin
whole
account?
process of sending like photos. Yeah, for Coinbase. Yeah, I couldn't
So
log
you
in
were
for a while, and I
eventually
did
able to
start
get in?
panicking because my fortune was like I couldn't access it. All my
You were
stellar
able to get in
lumens.
eventually.
Your Doji coin.
Yeah.
See, like
They were able
Facebook
to,
has
they fixed it for me.
Facebook has like no recourse for this. Like, I'm like, well, can I send you my ID? I'm like, I'll film a video of me holding my ID with my face saying, unlock my fucking Facebook account. Nothing. They have nothing.
I'll film a video of me
That's
twerking
crazy.
to the new Taylor Swift album that just came out at midnight. Please let me back in my account.
How weird
Well,
was that commercial in the middle of that football game last night? Taylor Swift. Hey guys, my new music video is going to be out at midnight in the middle of the football game.
It's all right.
Because the people that watch football game are 14-year-old girls. That makes total
Listen.
sense.
Yes.
They are.
I watched T Swift.
My
I
daughter
love
loves
me some T
Swift.
Swift.
Yes, I have every album, every CD, every album.
I'm a Swiftie.
They
I
figured
didn't
it
watch
was a
that
bunch
football
of Disney Plus She-Hulk fans watching, so why not?
Yeah, they had nothing to do else on a Thursday since it ended, right? They're watching football now.
They got to go watch Black Adam.
Yeah. Hey, that was a good show. Good movie. Favorite
Yeah, that was
DC movie ever.
that was a little weird. Like
JP,
all
you
there
saw it
was
too?
Yep.
all there was this week was Andor and Mighty Ducks. That's the only 2 TV shows that I had to look forward to.
I don't watch Andor. Star Wars shit the bed
Joe
for
said,
me.
what guy is she whining about in this album? That's every Taylor Swift album. She has so many boyfriends, it's not even funny. Very true.
Yeah, she's gone through them too, dude. Jake Gyllenhaal, John Mayer,
Jake
Who
Gyllenhaal.
else?
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
I think dudes just date her at this point so that she'll write a breakup song about him, so that way
Yeah.
they can get.
They can
Get some
compare. Was my
publicity.
song better
But
than yours?
dude-
Or, that's a good thing to do.
Have any of their careers actually like skyrocketed after songs come out? Because John Mayer
Yeah.
like vanished.
Yo, the one guy was in the Eternals movie, right? Harry Styles.
Oh yeah.
Did she date Harry Styles?
Yeah, that whole the whole song style is about him.
There's a song called. I didn't know that.
I forget exactly what's called. I'm sure someone can put in the comments, but it's Out of Style or something. It's actually kind of catchy as a Swiftie song, but it's about Harry Styles.
Harry Styles is kind of going through him too. Taylor Swift, and then breaks up Ted Lasso's marriage.
I don't think he did that.
Apparently, she was having an
Hartman
affair.
said she's the She-Hulk of music.
Somebody did. That was
yeah, I'm sure she had an affair, but that's on her too. Like, there's two sides.
No,
to
but
an affair,
if you
my
have
friend.
an affair with a married woman, you are responsible for breaking up that marriage.
Nah.
only if you know she's married.
Nah.
He knew. You're married to fucking Ted Lasso. You know.
I guess you don't like comedians anymore, right? She didn't like the comedian side of it. Not everyone could be Kevin Hartman or Kevin James.
Yeah, John Mayer
Just
hasn't really
combine
done
Kevin Hart,
much in a
Kevin
while.
James, and
I know.
Hartman's Collins all into one person. Kevin Hartman.
Apparently, she's got 9 different songs about Harry Styles. I Knew You Were Trouble, Style, Wonderland, Out of the Woods, I Know Places, Welcome to New York, All You Had to Do Was Stay, Clean, I Wish You Would. Those are all apparently about Harry Styles.
So we should, when you guys promote the podcast, just hashtag T Swift, and they'll have 14-year-old girls listening next week. So we'll be good to go.
Oh, Hartman, I agree completely. John Mayer John Mayer's so good at guitar. His John Mayer trio is so fucking good.
Lance
not as
trying to
good
do
as
his
Ozzy
best
Osbourne.
Ish impersonation and eat on the show.
Ozzy doesn't even play guitar.
He tried.
Did you watch the Bob Saget tribute? Matt?
No.
John Mayer was on that and fucking shreds, dude.
That's cool.
Actually, I think they ended that Dead and Friends with John Mayer. Supposedly, whatever their big show was this summer was the final show of that.
Dead and
iteration.
Friends?
Yeah.
What's
Or Dead and Company. So it's
talking
the
about
Grateful
Grateful
Dead
Dead?
with John what's his face instead of Jerry Garcia.
John Mayer
And they've
instead
been
of
doing
Jerry
it for
Garcia?
maybe for the last 5 years or so.
John Mayer's been with the Grateful Dead?
Yeah, he just
Correct.
has all his fingers. He can play like this.
I like that. Did you guys know that Ish is a fan of Queen, but only with Adam Lambert?
I didn't even know that.
I got in this argument with my friend, not about Queen, but about Sublime. He's like, yeah, dude, I love Sublime with Rome. They're way better than when Bradley Noel was in it. And I about fucking punched him in the face.
Yeah.
You're pretty serious about these. Ozzy,
Yeah.
Sublime.
Sublime's the shit, dude. Bradley Noel's a fucking king.
I know
This
the
one's
band
for
Rhyme,
Styx Boy.
but I couldn't tell you who's
How
plays.
about Styx with Gowan instead of Dennis DeYoung? And probably
I'm
Styx
not-
Boy is probably the only one who got that.
I heard that Ish was in England
Gowan's
this
better.
week. I heard Ish was in England this week writing songs with Ozzy just so Lance can't say he doesn't write his own songs.
Is that
Well,
where,
then I did. I'd have to be like, no,
Number 9 came
Ozzy,
out?
you write it down, not me.
Yeah.
You
I
get the
should
credit
made him,
for
but
it.
his hand trembles, so it's hard for him to write.
Ish is like, all right, what do you think of this lyric? And Ozzy was like, oh, it's pretty good. And Ish is like, repeat it back to me. And he says it back, and Ish goes, that's fantastic, Ozzy. That's great. What a great lyric. Put it down. Put it down. Got to coax him through it.
It's hilarious.
He's a living legend.
Meh.
Oh, yeah. Get that ice cream, Lance.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a Blizzard or is that a Mr. Misty?
What the hell did you just say?
Mr. Misty, isn't that what it's called? Or
What's a Mr. Misty?
that's what it's probably called back when I was a kid. It's the basically a Slurpee, but what they give you from Dairy Queen. It was a Mr.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just like a
Oh, I
Slurpee,
do
a
remember
slush.
those.
Mm-hmm.
It was a
They call it
slush. Yeah, I do remember. Did they have ice cream in the bottom of them or no?
No,
I don't remember.
It's just like ice with like flavoring. Like you can get blue raspberry or cherry or.
I don't remember.
Some of them had ice cream, but it was called something different. It wasn't called a Mr. Misty.
They don't make that anymore, huh?
No, I
Can't
don't.
compete with
Listen,
the Iceys and the Slurpees.
As much as I love to watch people eat on this show, Ish kind of has that niche cornered. So
Yeah, dude, don't be stealing my act.
You gotta eat ice cream before it already is half melted.
Best way. To eat.
Listen,
Now it's just all
Ish
candy
doesn't
at the
ask
bottom.
for. Ish doesn't ask for many things on this show. He asks for a Star Wars segment, and he asked to be the only one on here that eats.
Star
What are you
Wars
doing?
segment or Star Trek?
And
Star
I once
Trek.
asked for
All right.
James Bond too.
Oh, and James Bond, but we have to draw the line somewhere.
No. Hey, did
What
you watch
about it?
Raw on Monday? Did you see Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar?
I did see that. Yes,
Were you entertained?
I was not entertained.
Are you
You were
entertained?
not entertained. I was
I
entertained.
was not entertained. It's been a while since I've been entertained by pro wrestling.
Hence why he didn't like Black Adam.
Ever since The Rock left, it wasn't as good.
Did you watch? You don't watch AEW, do you?
I don't.
I don't know.
You didn't see Adam Hangman Page land square on his head and knock himself out mid match, so they called off the
vagina
match.
I
helmets.
did. I just like later saw clips and read about it, and people were worried he broke his
Knocked
neck and
himself
stuff.
out cold. Yeah.
Holy shit. Wow.
Did I see the
didn't see
vagina
that.
helmets?
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about.
Is he still talking
It's
about
Hartman.
the,
You never know what Hartman's talking about.
I think he's still
Like,
talking about the trailer from Star Trek Discovery season
Oh, he is,
5
yes.
of the aliens. I think he was convinced
they
the
do look
glowing
like
red things on their
vaginas.
face were like uterus.
Hey Lance, what's going on in geek news this week?
I don't know.
Speaking
Play the
of
fucking
vaginas.
video. Let's find out.
I don't know. I'm waiting for you to finish the fucking deep throat and your blizzard.
Fucker. Next. It's time for geek news. Did you guys like the remix? Don't. All right. What we got first? Where's the fucking thing that turns these slides?
He says, "Oh, it's so creamy."
First bit of geek news. The fuck? It's that new game show. Fucking this guy.
It's that new show. Cast a dibba dabba dibba dibba doo.
How much ice cream do you have?
Fuck. All right. So who do you guys think we're talking about today? We've got Adam Driver on the screen, John Krasinski,
Whoa,
Tom
I never
Ellis.
even heard Adam Driver's name brought up.
I
This.
read it fucking today. I thought for sure we talked about it already. Well, let's see who we got today.
Spin the wheel. Spin that wheel.
It's fucking Tom Ellis from Lucifer.
I buy it.
Since Marvel Studios announced the Fantastic Four would be joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there's been a lot of speculation, but little news concerning casting. Recent rumors suggest at least one role may be close to finding its actor, and that actor may just be none other than Lucifer star Tom Ellis. As reported by Murphy's Multiverse, Du Moi, is that what that says?
Is that a person?
Du Moi.
God bless you.
Fucking don't know. Suggested Tom Ellis is being considered for Reed Richards, actor Maddie Hassan for Sue Storm, and Michael Provost for Johnny Storm. It was stated Jason Biggs from American Pie has auditioned for Ben Grimm, but it is uncertain if he is still in the running for the role. It is worth reiterating that none of this has yet been confirmed.
That's all. That's gonna all be a joke.
Jason
Jason
fucking
Biggs,
Tom Ellis.
the
Now,
pie fucker himself.
I don't know Maddie Hassan or Michael Provost. Do you guys know who those guys are?
Well, remember the big rumor of Jason Segel appearing as Ben
Yeah.
Grimm and She-Hulk?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we talked about on the show many times, and nothing, not even close to that, was reality. I don't believe any of this crap.
There wasn't
Who
even
the
a
hell is this
Fantastic
Dumois?
Four.
And
I don't know,
Dumois'
Dumois?
suggestion that it's going to be Tom Ellis.
It must be a person from this Murphy's Multiverse website. I don't know.
Dumois.
But did you guys like my
Dumois.
little wheel? That was fun, right? The little
Yeah, it
whole
was great.
That's
Great
pretty
time. Now I know why you're never a game show host.
It's time to play the cast of
Price is wrong, bitch.
It's time to play
I had this whole plan of fucking like talking like fucking Steve Harvey or something.
Joe's Doolin says Harvey Weinstein for Thing, Matt Lauer for Reed Richards, Bill Cosby as Human Torch.
Sure, why not?
And who's playing Reed Richards? Kevin Spacey?
Danny Masterson. No, he said
The Rooster himself.
He said Matt Lauer. Harvey Weinstein for Thing, Matt Lauer for Reed Richards, and Bill Cosby for Human Torch.
Then who's playing fucking
your mom's is
Storm.
Elliot Page
Sue
as
is
both
Elliot
Sue
Page.
and Johnny Storm.
Your mom is on point.
Double duty.
Well, the guy who played him in the last Fantastic Four movie was on SNL recently, wasn't he?
Miles Teller?
Yeah, he was in Top Gun, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I think he's grown since that. Grown in terms of his.
They want to
popularity.
separate themselves as much as possible from that movie. Guaranteed.
That would be the worst idea ever to bring him back.
I like him.
I think now it's better off to bring him back now that he's done bigger movies. Right at the time, that was kind of a flop. But
he was. You got when Fantastic Four came out. He had done some big movies at that time. Like, what was the series that he did?
Whiplash he had done, and that was an amazing movie.
Whiplash is a fantastic movie, but he also did War Dogs, which is a really good movie.
So good.
Was Miles Teller in Divergent? What series did he have?
I think it was the Four or something. It was called. Was that the?
It was a series of movies. I thought that he was in Divergent. He's in Divergent with Shailene Woodley.
I didn't follow
So
him.
like he's had a career. Like he's had a career. Whiplash.
No, is he in all of them or is he just in the Insurgent?
No, he's her like friend or something.
He's been in a lot of movies like I've never even heard of.
He's got some really good ones. I mean, Whiplash is great. War Dogs is great. Spectacular Now is great. Yeah, he was in Insurgent as well.
Think of the
Only
fact
the
that
Brave.
Chris Evans was the Human Torch, and they brought him back to play Captain America. Like I was like, why is this guy? But
you got to remember when the first Fantastic Four came out, the first one, it wasn't as lambasted as this new 2015 one was.
Oh no, I agree. But I don't think it's a bad idea to have him.
It still was criticized, but
not to the extent of this one.
No.
Yeah. Josh Trank, is that who did it?
Yeah.
Josh Trank did this new one. Yeah. Although none of the casting really bugs me from that new one. Well, I don't even remember who played Dr. Doom. Yeah, I just remember he looked ridiculous. But if you think about it, like nobody, I mean,
I like Jamie Bell's a good actor, but as Ben Grimm in The Thing, that's
too tiny.
And the girl who played Sue Storm, I just wanted to punch in the face.
Me too.
They got half the casting right, I would say.
Michael B. Jordan was good as like Johnny Storm. Didn't you like Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah, he's kind of good in everything though. That's a good guy to cast in many roles. It's pretty solid.
And Miles Teller, like I like Miles Teller, but he just looked so disinterested in even being like this. Throughout the whole movie, he just looks like I'm here for the payday, right?
Well, I mean, wouldn't you be?
And there was no payday.
The girl that plays Sue Storm in that movie, her father owns the Yankees.
He was in
her sister is married to Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh, really?
Rooney Mara.
Yeah, the Maras own which football or which baseball team? Is it the Giants?
They own the New York.
The Mariners.
The football Giants. Okay. Yeah. She's from the Mara family that owns her grandfather owns it, right, JP?
Yeah, they own there's some relationship where they own the Steelers and the Giants. She's married to someone who has connection. She's connected to the Giants. I think who she's married to, or her mom is connected to the Steelers and the dad is connected to the Giants.
Yeah, so she comes from money, like Kate Mara. But it doesn't mean she's a good actress by any means. But
I think she's an okay actress, but in FF as Sue Storm, that was.
Yeah.
I mean, you said Miles Teller was like disinterested as an actor. Her character was like disinterested in that movie. Always headphones on, just always kind of like that was not Sue Storm at all.
I guess I'm just used to them fucking up
bugged the
that
shit
role
out of me.
because like Jessica Alba wasn't good as Sue Storm either. I mean, Jessica Alba's she's great, but it just wasn't Sue Storm. Like they just constantly fuck up that role. But you got to remember Chris Evans. JP brought up Chris Evans. Chris Evans has been in what 6 or 7 different comic book properties. He's done Push, The Losers, Fantastic Four, Scott Pilgrim, Avengers. That's 5. Didn't he do another one?
Did not know that.
Yeah,
looking into it, it looks like both sides of her family, mother and father's side, are the owner. One is the owner of the New York Giants, and the other one is the owner of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Because it says a descendant of the owners of the New York Giants and Pittsburgh Steelers. So,
yep, I'm okay with the Steelers one.
I'm not.
But who was the girl that did the movie? The Dragon movie.
Oh, Rooney
Mara, right? I think that's related to her.
Oh, the dragon tattoo.
Yeah, they're sisters.
Yeah. Okay,
that's the one that's married to Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah, Rooney Mara is married to Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay, that's where I did not. I knew the Mara from the Dragon Tattoo movie. I had no idea she was a Mara till I just looked it up now. I knew she was in a Kevin Spacey, with House of Cards. She was a reporter in that, and I liked her in that show. And then I saw her in Fantastic Four after the fact. So I went back and watched that, and I said, it wasn't my favorite casting.
She is attractive.
Yeah, she's just so.
Sue Storm should be
blonde.
blonde. Sue Storm should be blonde, and Reed Richards should be 25 years older than her. That's the way it should be.
I
think they're gonna move away from because they end up together. I think they're moving away from. I don't know. I've seen a lot online of people getting upset when they have these older actors with these younger girls. Like, what was the one I was just reading about?
I'll tell you what, Kate Mara is dead sexy in the Hulu show Teacher. If you've never watched it,
Teacher's a good show. It's fucked up. That show is fucked up, but it's a good show. Have you guys seen that one, JP ish? She's a teacher that has an affair with one of her students, like a high school teacher has an affair with one of her students. Is it? Well, I mean, it happens all the time.
No, but I mean, it's like I think it's based on an actual true story of I read about it in the late 90s, early 2000s. So I think it's based on that story, even though it happens all the time, but it's based on an actual story.
Yeah.
Shit, never happened to me.
Me neither.
My teacher's ugly.
One of my English teachers in high school was a cheerleader for the Arizona Cardinals. And that would have been great.
Oh, yeah.
But we shouldn't make fun of statutory rape, guys. That's definitely going to get us canceled.
You're not making fun of it. You're just saying that you're disappointed that it didn't happen to you.
Well, if you failed high school a couple times or your grade, you were 18 anyway, so it didn't matter, right? Depends on what state you're in.
I'm not making fun of it, but again, I can also turn around and say I'm sad that I didn't have a sad teacher or a hot teacher, and it did not happen to me.
No.
Matt's hot teacher was like Mr. Brown or something like that. That's who he had the hot for. All right.
There wasn't very many hot teachers in the woodshop area, so they're all old dudes.
And Amish in the woodshop.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that your school hired an Amish person to work the woodshop.
That's what they, Mr. Beveridge, and it was.
Oh shit! All right, well
Ezekiel.
Next. Oh, go
Ezekiel.
Fuck. Is Borat Mephisto? Mephisto via My Time to Shine Hello, whatever the fuck that is. Sacha Baron Cohen is said.
I don't believe it if it's not Demois. If it's not a Demois rumor, I don't buy it.
Sacha Baron Cohen is said to have been cast as Mephisto in the Marvel Studios Ironheart series coming to Disney Plus. It's true, and I love it. Perfect casting because they're reputable, whatever. Another fan chimed in questioning and laughed how Mephisto is going to fit into an Ironheart story. The Hood
Good
is the
question.
villain of the show. He's magic-based character that makes a deal with the demon to get his cloak and powers. Originally, it was with Dormammu in the comics, but here it's going to be with Mephisto. Replied, "My time to shine. Hello." The fuck that name, dude? Is that a website? Matt,
Mephisto.
you found this. You found this article. Is that a website?
I don't know. It's all over the
My
place.
time
now,
to
dude.
shine hello is really the Kevin Feige robot. It's one of the bot accounts.
I honestly
my
do
favorite
think that they have like some bot accounts that are like, "Hey, what about this person?" And they put it out in the Twitterverse to see how people react to it.
Absolutely,
I don't know,
they
dude.
do
This
that.
guy can do anything. Like, I really think that he can, whatever role, like, he can become that person. Not saying everything he comes out with is good, but he's really good at like changing his entire persona.
I'm
Like-
seriously okay with this casting. Like I like Sacha Baron Cohen. I like the Borat movies. I like you said. I don't think you're saying. I haven't seen anything bad that he's done. I mean, I guess other than
I don't know. The second
Bruno,
Borat
but-
movie was.
The
dude,
second
the
Borat
second
movie
Borat
is pretty
movie
funny.
killed me.
The one where he's in the yellow overalls here, and the one next to it where he's like the Iranian military leader
The
or whatever.
dictator.
Dictator.
Yeah.
Dictator.
Those are bad movies.
Yeah. Do you want this guy being Mephisto in the Marvel?
He's an amazing. I would argue
He
he's
could
one of the
probably do
best-
something interesting with it. Yeah, I could see it.
He's one of the best character actors available today.
I put
Would be a
this
pretty
on.
hammy Mephisto, that's for sure.
I put this on my Instagram page. I have a book I got. I think it's Mephisto versus the Fantastic Four, something I found. And I said, hopefully, if Sacha Baron Cohen, can he play the role as good as Tim Curry did in Legend? If you remember, Tim Curry's a comedian,
Yeah.
and he rocked it as Legend, did he not? As Darkness in the movie Legend.
But Tim Curry, could you really call him a comedian? Because he started out as a Broadway actor. Tim Curry.
But he was in Rocky Horror Picture, so he was a guy in fishnets and makeup, and then he was Darkness, and he was like the coolest looking devil I had seen at that point of my childhood. I thought he was pretty.
But
fucking
he's not.
cool.
He's not being funny in Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I don't know. I still laugh when I watch the show. I'm not
Yeah,
saying-
it's
but-
funny, but he's not being.
he was
funny.
in Clue. He was in Clue. He was like, I'm saying he can play all different kind of roles, and I never saw him as someone who could play Darkness as well.
But
as
he was Pennywise.
He was in the
Oh,
Hunt
true.
for Red
And that
October.
too.
Yeah, the
Yes, he
guy's
was.
done
Yeah,
a
he
lot.
But again, early on,
He was
what I
the
saw him
the
do
front
and what-
desk man in Home Alone
Home
2.
Alone. Yep.
Yeah,
So that's what I mean. Like, it could Sacha Baron Cohen be Mephisto, depending on how Curry did it, like that. Just I don't know. I thought that was portrayed well in that movie in Legend. I just thought that was a cool ass looking devil, which was as cool as it was from that devil was as cool as the one in the Black Adam movie. For those who saw it, I'll just say
Well,
that
he-
now.
he hasn't always done. He hasn't been strictly comedic movies. Sacha Baron Cohen. I mean, he did Les Miserables. He did Hugo. He's done.
That was a comedic role in Hugo, though. But still,
I
he
don't
was in a
remember-
Martin Scorsese movie.
But it's just hard for me
Yeah.
to see Cohen as Mephisto as I would want him portrayed. But like I'm saying, Curry
Like
could do
miserable.
Darkness. Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
Curry
I
did
think
okay.
I think the guy just understands like deep character like essence. Do you know what I mean? Like he can figure out like what makes something tick and bring that like I think he's really good at being funny. And it is a Marvel movie, so you know Mephisto's gonna crack a few jokes. Like it's just everybody in a Marvel movie.
Thanos
He
didn't.
doesn't need to.
Thanos?
He didn't crack any jokes. Did he?
No.
I don't.
No.
No,
So
he
he
Mephisto
can't
can't,
be-
yeah, he would definitely
can't be
have
serious, but-
Mephisto making jokes. He would play.
I mean, you don't cast him if he
pretty
doesn't.
over the top Mephisto.
Right, that's what I mean. So they're going to make Mephisto be funny. Thanos really wasn't. Brolin wasn't funny, but I don't know much about Mephisto. But if he's supposed to be somewhat funny, then that's
I don't-
great casting.
I don't want to be funny. I want to be like witty and
Dry
wanna be-
funny, like a dark, like not
no.
with puns.
I want him to be
or
more like
anything.
cunning and manipulative, not funny. Like I don't want him to try and be anything like The Rock was in Black Adam. I just want him to be just very witty and manipulative. And I'm all for this because I like Sacha Baron Cohen, and I'm ecstatic that they're finally going to bring Mephisto into the MCU. But what a missed opportunity. Why didn't this happen during No Way Home? Then you can undo that stupid ending that makes no sense. He can make the deal with Mephisto to make everyone forget he's Spider-Man, including Mary Jane. Give up his relationship. Therefore, you write her out of the next movie, and you move forward with nobody knowing that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. But nope, can't do that. We're gonna wait until Ironheart because we've already used Dormammu and all these other characters. We've already done this, so why not? You know.
Well, I think they're potentially gearing up for him to appear in Agatha, don't you?
Yeah, I would think that would make sense in that show.
It makes sense if he'd eventually come in Agatha. I mean, you're having the coven of, what do they call it? The coven of chaos.
Chaos, yeah.
It's gonna be like I'm hoping that it's like kind of horror-esque. What's better than to put the fucking devil in there?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm sure there's a better
possible,
casting for Mephisto than Borat, but I'm sure it'll work.
I think I think it's a perfect casting. Like, Sacha Baron Cohen is just that good of an actor. Like, have you seen Talladega Nights?
Yeah, he's a phenomenal actor. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, there's not many actors that can really like study the essence of a character. You know what I mean? Like, and can get so down deep into it and just really like become that character. I mean, when you look at him from Borat to Ali G, like I remember the first time I saw Ali G and I said, there's no way in hell that's the same dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's just that
I'm
good. And then before I even like knew who Sacha Baron Cohen was, Talladega Nights came out, and I didn't even realize that was the same dude with Borat.
Yeah, but the way he played that dictator show was the same as he played Borat. Similar,
the dictator wasn't him. It was really bad writing. It was horrendous writing.
Yeah,
he wrote it.
No, I'm not saying his portrayal. No. I'm not saying his portrayal.
He wrote it.
The portrayal wasn't the problem. Like him performing wasn't the problem. Him writing, the movie was bad. Like it was just dumb. And that one, what is that one? He's Hans or something like that. What is the one where he's in the yellow overalls?
That's Bruno. Where he's like a gay fashion icon.
From like, he's like Dutch, right?
Austrian.
I can't remember.
Austrian?
Like
I don't know.
He just doesn't scream Mephisto to me, but hey.
I don't know.
Just
I say it's better than Jason Biggs as Ben Grimm.
Well, we haven't seen him yet, but again, what did Kevin say in the She-Hulk finale? The probability of success they have is 100% or something. He said at the end of that show that their formula works all the time. So put in Borat and as Mephisto and it'll work, I guess. Yeah. Did he say something about how their formula always works, or they always?
No, he took a crack at himself. I think it was like an 80% success rate. Like it works more often than not. Or he said, he made he made a joke about himself, like not everything works. But I don't know.
This one does.
Yeah, hopefully.
Maybe Jason Biggs is Mephisto. We'll see.
75% of the time, it works every time.
Panther. What's it called? Panther.
Sex Panther.
Sex Panther. I have socks that have that written on the side. Sex Panther.
I have Axe Cologne that says it on the side.
All right, next.
You wear Axe Cologne? I'm sorry.
The Batman writer-director Matt Reeves is planning to expand on his film's universe with a series devoted to the Dark Knight's Rogues Gallery. As reported by The Hollywood Reporter, Reeves is not only working on a sequel to The Batman, but is also quietly developing a film series centered around both well-known and obscure Batman villains, including Scarecrow, Clayface, and even Professor Pig. Pig?
Yeah.
Okay. Among others. These projects are in very early development, but Reeves is taking meetings with writers and directors to expand the Batman universe. What the fuck is Warner Brothers doing, dude?
You're already kind of getting this with the.
They're looking at the Joker and they're looking at the Batman and they're seeing these are big successful movies that people liked and didn't shit all over. So let's continue making those.
So why continue making fucking Black Adam and Shazam and all these other, like, just make one universe. You haven't even been able to successfully create one universe. Now you're going to create another universe?
Correct.
And not to mention Joker is not in this
That
universe.
is the plan.
Right.
So that's a third universe.
But the Peacemaker, Suicide Squad,
All
the
that's
first
DCEU.
Suicide Squad, and they all have the same Amanda Waller in them, so there's some connection there.
Yeah, it's
But
all
these-
DCEU. It's rooted from the Snyderverse.
Okay, but that's still going on, the Snyderverse.
Well,
Yeah.
rumor is that they're moving forward with those actors portraying these characters, but the Snyderverse is done. So they're gonna move forward with all the same actors and actresses, but they are not. They are rewriting the DC universe, and Black Adam was supposed to be what kicks that off.
And the Black Adam movie, I know we'll get to it later on, but that was more of a Marvel feel to it. It wasn't as dark. It was kind of funny, and it had.
Well, I mean, it was dark to the point where he like brutally murdered people.
Right, but there still was some funny lines to it. Like, I thought it was not as dark as, Dawn of Justice or whatever that was, the Batman versus Superman one, or Justice League.
I just realized that this picture I grabbed is a puzzle. Are you guys able to see that?
Yeah, I can tell.
No.
But what I'm trying to figure out is DC has seen that this doesn't work. Like a Clayface movie, how is that different than a Morbius movie?
I was just gonna say I'm down for a Clayface movie. I'll
Yeah,
see
but
that.
why did Peacemaker work and these won't? I think it would be.
Peacemaker's obscure enough to where people don't connect him to anything else. How do you have a Clayface movie and not have Batman in it?
Yeah, but how do you have Gotham that
Nobody
you have
said
a
that Batman
Pennyworth
wouldn't
movie
be in
coming
it.
out?
You're
Yeah, he can
assuming
make an
Batman's not
appearance.
going to be.
He might make it a small appearance, but you had that Pennyworth
Yeah.
show that just coming out on HBO Max. That is Alfred prior to his time with Batman.
But do you realize they had to add Batman to the title because people weren't even realizing that was part of that it had anything to do with Batman. That show, I don't know if you guys have seen it, Pennyworth. It's
what did they do to the
basically,
title?
They added the origin of Batman's butler.
That's what it's Pennyworth. That's the origins of Batman's butler.
That's the name of the show
like
now.
The show synopsis.
He's apparently a badass. He's apparently a badass before he.
But
became...
the first season, it's more of like a not espionage, but like I don't know, like
badass,
like a film noir.
He's like Austin Powers, except without the hair.
You're badass in the British Army, so you're like, what do I want to do? Well, I don't want kids of my own, so I'm just going to settle down, become someone's slave, butler, and raise someone else's snotty little nosed kid.
Mm-hmm. It's a good show, but it didn't. They could have written that show completely and not had anything to do with Batman. But why? Like, I'm assuming that if they're doing a sequel to the Batman and making movies, because then you could just argue that the first Batman is a movie about fucking Riddler. It's Riddler's movie.
I'm assuming that Mephisto.
These are going to be, the way they're saying this is Scarecrow, Clayface, and Professor Pig are going to be the main focal points of these movies.
Well, they're already kind of starting that by doing the Penguin spin-off show with Colin Farrell, so it's not really that much of a surprise.
I think it's a good idea.
Well, then throw him into have him fight The Rock and Black Adam or some shit.
No, we're good.
I don't like the fact of they haven't even.
Matt Reeves is probably like, I'm not dealing with any of that other crap.
I just don't like the fact of you haven't even successfully built one universe. Now you've got your eyes on building this universe while you're also trying to fix this one. Not to mention that we don't have in our articles today, Walter Hamada officially stepped out of DC. He's gone today or yesterday or something. He's gone.
Yeah.
They can't even find anybody to helm this dumpster fire of a universe that they're trying to build themselves.
I'm available.
And now they want to build another universe. Why not just start over? Why not just start over and have Matt Reeves build the whole thing?
Yeah.
If you're gonna
Sounds
have
like
Matt
maybe that's
Reeves
what they're
build a
doing.
unicorn. No, because now they're talking about casting another Flash actor to take over for Ezra Miller. They're talking about doing something at the end of the Flash movie to have a different actor at the end of that Flash movie.
So maybe they want to do something that Marvel isn't doing and have two universes.
But they haven't even successfully built one.
But with Black Adam coming out and that connection to the old DCEU with Amanda Waller and what's the blonde haired girl's name that's married to James Gunn or dating James Gunn?
Is that her at the end of that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the same actress?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
From
I
Peacemaker.
recognize her.
So you got that connection, but you have all these obscure characters: Black Adam, Dr. Fate, Hawkman, which I thought was cool as hell. We'll get into that later, but that's a good way to start it, right? Because you have these again with Peacemaker, obscure characters, and you can slowly build into it, like they did with Marvel and Iron Man, who was a big name, but he wasn't popular. In the 90s, it was X-Force, X-Men, Spider-Man. They sold all those properties off, so all they had left was Iron Man and Thor.
I just have a really hard time seeing John Cena's Peacemaker and Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Oh, I bet you'd want to see John Cena's Peacemaker, wouldn't you, buddy?
I just have a hard time seeing those two in the same movie.
Yeah, I don't like how they recast the Batman. I like Peacemaker and where they're going now, but that Batman made no sense to me. Even though it was a good movie, I just didn't think it.
Well, it's completely standalone. Has nothing to do with anything we've ever seen before.
I love
and Ben Affleck is going to be in Aquaman and The Flash.
Yeah, I
mean, so he's still carrying forward. I don't know. I guess we'll just find out more when it comes.
I tell you, I was out of this stuff for a long time. I followed the movies here and there, but I said to somebody whenever The Dark Knight came out, because I hadn't seen Batman Begins, and when The Dark Knight came out with Heath Ledger, I said, why are they redoing this? They already did the Joker, and then it was a great movie. It made a whole trilogy from that. But in my head, I said, why do you have to redo the same characters you already did before? Do something different. Use somebody else. Don't use the Penguin. Don't use Mr. Freeze. Find somebody new to use, like Bane. And well, I guess they used him in the 90s, but somebody else to make a movie with and start a whole new, series from there. But it turned out pretty good. But in my head, I just didn't. Why would you have to remake the same thing again? You don't need to remake Total Recall. You don't need to remake Blade Runner.
Well, Matt, haven't you been saying that for a while, that like DC has access to every single one of their characters? Why do they keep remaking the same shit over and over again?
Yep, because those are the characters that sell. Those are the characters that people know, and they're gonna put butts in seats. Their whole universe is so in shambles, so hostile that they're afraid that anyone but a Batman, a Superman, a Wonder Woman, an Aquaman, or a Flash, your big, hitters aren't gonna work. And it's been very evident, and we're seeing that by the cancellation of the Wonder Twins, the cancellation of Batgirl. Who knows, the influx of Blue Beetle, now not moving forward with Green Lantern shows anymore. Just everything they've canceled Disney Plus. Who knows what's going on with Titans? Who knows what's going on Doom Patrol? So as far as their cinematic universe goes, they're so in shambles that they don't want to take the risk of bringing somebody in who's not going to be a guaranteed home run. And I think the success of Black Adam will go a long way to solidify their next move.
If you guys had your choice of a show or a movie being made off of a DC property, being the star of a DC movie that has not been done before, who would be your pick?
Firestorm.
Firestorm is going to be, or no, he was going to be in Batgirl, right? Wasn't that Brendan Fraser?
No, that was Firefly.
It was Firestorm in,
I think, wasn't
the
Firestorm
Legends of Tomorrow show?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the nuclear man.
Yeah,
so he's technically been made.
Flash
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
That's an interesting pick, though. Why Firestorm?
I always just thought he was a cool. I just thought he was a cool character back in the day. Just, I think you can take that obscure character, and in this day and age with CGI, and you can do like they did with the Black Adam movie, do like they did with Iron Man, and really start a base from these obscure characters and build from there. And going back to the original, Marvel didn't have those X-Men, Spider-Man to rely on. They didn't bring Spider-Man in until 2014, 2015.
They made a movie off of one that nobody else could like really wanted to make a movie off of it, like because it wasn't a for sure thing.
Yeah, Iron Man killed it. I mean, it killed it. And who would have thought? I mean, Iron Man's a cool character, but he did not have a following, and great casting with Robert Downey Jr., John Favreau directing it. I mean, it just was it hit. And you find something like that, like James Gunn and Peacemaker, and you take Firestorm, or you take Green Lantern, even maybe. I mean, I think that could be a better movie, even though as much as I like Ryan Reynolds, find somebody else. It sucked, but it could have been better because Green Lantern's he has great storylines.
I think the one, well, I want to hear Ish and Matt. Like, who would you want a movie from DC if you got one?
Yeah, I'll just say this in defense of that Green Lantern movie. I think half the movie, all the scenes in space and having to do with out in space, it's a fucking awesome movie. Whenever they come to Earth, that's when it's like it totally sucks.
You can rewatch Green Lantern. You can
fast forward through a lot of the scenes. There's like a cool movie in there, a really cool movie.
If you fast forward through the whole thing, it's awesome.
I mean,
you got fast forward any scenes on Earth and any scenes with Green Lantern's girlfriend.
You got Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. You can't go wrong with that show. It's watchable over and over again, whereas Thor: Love and Thunder, you can't watch it again.
I'll agree. I would rather watch Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern any day over Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yep.
So, Ish, who would be your pick as far as a DC movie of somebody that hasn't been adapted before?
Well, like a character?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, Booster Gold.
That's what I was thinking. I didn't want to say it because I've
Booster Gold.
I love Booster Gold, but it's got one that I don't want to see them just anyone handle that.
I mean, of all the characters you can pick from, I mean, Booster Gold to me seems like the most logical. The one I'm surprised
he did
they haven't
appear, I
yet.
believe, in one of the CW shows. They had him.
Booster Gold.
Yeah, they had a Booster Gold, and
Zatanna's one that I'm surprised they haven't pushed in this.
They've been trying, and it's probably going to get shit canned. It's been in production for a while.
Like in this new landscape that we're in, where they're trying to develop these female-led superhero movies. Like Zatanna seems like a prime property.
I don't know Zatanna very well.
They tried. They're trying. It's not going very far.
What about Black Lightning?
They had a whole show.
Yeah, he was in the
bombed.
Yeah.
His show bombed.
CW.
It looked kind of cheesy, so you make it better, and then maybe it takes off.
Well, let's just put it this way: they came out with that show and said this has nothing to do with the Arrowverse, right? And then it went 2 seasons, no one watched it, and they said, okay, it's now part of the Arrowverse because they needed people to watch it, and then still nobody watched it, and then they canceled it.
Thanks, Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover.
That was cool,
but I don't know. All right, next.
Oh, I guess I don't get to say mine, huh?
Oh, say yours. You just kind of smirked every time we said one. So
no, that's all right. That's all right.
What's yours, Matt? You don't have access to the PowerPoint, so we'll sit here all night.
Mine would be Static Shock.
Oh, I would love Static Shock. The kid from Stranger Things has been advocating to play Static Shock.
What about the Spectre? Another one there. Static Shock, the Spectre. There's a couple out there.
The Spectre's in Stargirl, isn't he? Not Stargirl.
Sergeant Rock.
He was in.
Man, I'd love
Flash.
to see some Sergeant Rock.
I'm pretty sure that Oliver Queen became Spectre in Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
But even if it was in in CW, it doesn't really say you can't redo it in the.
No. You're absolutely right.
Right.
You're absolutely right, JP. There's a few characters that I would like to see redone that were
Better.
CW. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. One of those is Green Arrow. Like the only Green Arrow like good adaptation that we've had is Stephen Amell.
Yeah.
They were
Like
trying to make a Green Arrow movie for a while where it was gonna be like a prison break movie where he was escaping like a supermax prison.
Isn't that the TV show?
No,
Okay.
Didn't he escape a prison in the TV show?
he escaped an island.
But in the third, did he never go to a prison?
I don't think so.
Why do I feel like he
but,
was in a prison at one point?
like the whole movie was just supposed to be like a prison escape movie?
See, they keep like they kept making like Justice League and stuff and putting Cyborg in there, and it should have been Green Arrow.
Cyborg.
It should have been Green Lantern.
Well,
Yeah.
Green Lantern too. Apparently, there was a Green Lantern scene filmed for Zack Snyder's Justice League, but they cut it like he did it in his driveway or something.
You see it in the Snyder cut. He's like flying around in the background, but you never actually see his face.
Yeah,
But that was the John Majors. I think it was the John Majors. Is that his name?
no,
it's a famous
Jonathan
cover.
Stewart.
No, not. Yeah. It was. I'm sorry. That's the name of him.
John
famous-
Majors is the guy playing Kang.
Kang, right? I'm sorry. But I knew there was the Black Green Lantern is essentially what that I thought he was supposed to be, which would have been pretty cool. So
Yeah, I would love to see a good Green Lantern. He was always my character that I would go to when I played DC versus Mortal Kombat and Injustice. It always played Green Lantern. It's fucking
Bro,
awesome.
speaking of John Majors, did you see how ripped he got? He got fucking
Yeah.
shredded for Creed 3.
Did you watch the Creed 3 trailer, JP and Ish?
no,
Dude, Jonathan Majors looks like you fucking take on a semi truck.
who's he supposed to play in Creed
He's
3?
playing a totally new character. I don't think he has any relation to any character from.
Is it Mr. T's kid?
No.
That was a rumor that was going around, but apparently that's not the case. He was
Clubber Lang Jr.
Clever Lang, that's his name. No, he's Creed's like
childhood
friend that goes to prison and then gets out. And apparently he was always like a better boxer. This is just from the trailer, but he was always a better boxer than Creed and gets out of prison and then wants to take on Creed to like take his rightful place as boxer's number one.
Well, no,
fighter or
it's not that he
something.
wants to take it on Creed. It's that he starts like brutally beating the hell out of everyone he fights, and apparently, like there's some conflict, and Creed's wife or girlfriend says, "Well, maybe the only way to stop him is to fight him." So, and then that, of course, launches into the montage of we're
What if
getting
he's
ready to
just a
fight.
time traveling Apollo Creed
Nice, I'd be down with that.
back to fight his own son?
I read something just before the show started. Speaking of Creed and Rocky, did you know? So Ralph Macchio has been going around doing all these like TV interviews and stuff because he's got a new book coming out. And apparently, in the late '90s, he was pitched a Karate Kid and Rocky crossover to where fucking Danny and Rocky both have kids, and those kids are going to fight each other, and they both have to train their kids. So a full-on boxer was going to fight a Karate Kid.
I would have seen
That'd
that.
been the
That's-
UFC.
And Ralph Macchio, they
I would've gone to see
cornered
that.
Ralph Macchio and the writer of the original, because the guy that directed the Karate Kid also directed one of the Rocky movies, I guess, or wrote one of the Rocky movies or
Yes.
something.
and he
these-
directed it.
Not the first Rocky though, right?
No, that was Rocky
So
himself.
Stallone
Yeah,
wrote the
Sylvester
first
Stallone.
Rocky, but the director of Rocky is the same director as Karate Kid. You're right.
Stallone didn't direct the first Rocky.
No, he just wrote it, sold it. to
No,
him.
Did he
Right.
direct the later Rockies? Because
I
he
think he
has
was
directed
producer,
some
but-
Rockies, right?
I think Rocky
I think he
4.
directed Rocky
or 5 he did.
Balboa.
Where
Maybe
he's
Rocky
old
5
and
too.
I think the
Where
movie
he's
you're talking about would
Old,
have been No
decrepit, and
Retreat.
owns a restaurant.
Yeah. I think the movie you're talking about that was made in the 80s was No Retreat, No Surrender. You guys see that movie?
no,
You guys never
Yes.
saw No Retreat, No Surrender with
I don't
Jean-Claude
remember
Van Damme.
I don't remember that one.
I
It was a
have,
total
absolutely.
knockoff of Karate Kid and Kickboxer and Rocky. I mean, that was the child of Rocky and Karate Kid, if you could think of one.
Ralph, your mom's going off on Ralph Macchio, dude, and that dude is having the time of his life right now.
My God, I gotta watch Cobra Kai season.
He's
5.
got one of the #1 shows on Netflix.
Yeah, I still haven't watched it yet either.
It's so good.
It's so
it's
fucking
It's
awesome.
got one of the best shows ever on Netflix.
Yeah,
Ash Brown, Johnny Lawrence.
he has a best-selling book out right now. He's going on fucking all these late night shows talking about his book that's selling like hotcakes.
And he's dating Allie again.
He just came out the Cobra Kai video game where they used his like motion capture or whatever. Like the dude's he's relevant right now. And that dude doesn't look a day over like 35.
He was 35 when he was in Karate Kid.
Dude, he is like in his 60s. Did you know that?
Yeah, because he was 30 when he did Karate Kid.
No
But
way.
he
He was actually 30 years old when he did
Yeah,
Karate
because he was
Kid.
in all those Heartthrob magazines back in the day. And I found out he was like almost 30. And I'm like, he's playing a 16-year-old kid. But he was almost 30 back then. He looked that young.
He is 60 years old, bro. Ralph Macchio.
That's
And
crazy.
he looks the
60.
age of fucking Ryan Reynolds.
Why don't you say it again?
Well, that's why in his 30s he was cast as
I
like
don't
a
think we got
16-year-old.
the hint that he was 60 years old.
It's just crazy
That's-
to me.
All right,
If
so
you
Lance,
know-
2 days ago.
If you know martial
so
arts,
that's the
you can
Rocky
stay young.
movies. Stallone directed 2, 3, and 4.
Okay. So he directed some of the early ones. He just
He
didn't.
wrote
do the
all
first
of
one.
them. He directed 2, 3, and
directed.
4, and then the
Elected.
first one was the director of Karate Kid. So we can lay that to rest.
I can't believe they would have put that movie together. That's crazy.
Yeah,
He also directed
he was
Rocky
at
Balboa.
lunch. He was at lunch with. So Ralph
Pat
Macchio
Morita.
was at lunch with the director of Rocky, and they both laughed at these 2 movie studio execs that like cornered them, gave them this pitch for this Rocky Karate Kid crossover, and he talks about it in his new book.
Maybe Cobra Kai 6, season 6 will involve Rocky.
It'd be really cool to have like a Sylvester Stallone cameo in Rocky season 6, wouldn't it?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Just a cameo, like no true storyline, just a cameo. Like he comes in to buy a car from Daniel-san.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I like that.
it's like, hey, I need a new Ferrari.
Hey,
Hey,
where's Buckus? Where's Buckus? Hey.
Oh man, they call me the Italian Stallion.
What else would you
All right,
cross
next.
Karate Kid over with? What if he did like a Karate Kid Predator crossover? Would you see that? Would you go watch that?
A Karate Kid Nightmare on Elm Street crossover.
I'd watch the shit out of that
alright.
ish.
Yeah, I like that. I
Oh,
like
that's
that.
so
It's
funny. All right. Next, we've got an Edward Norton MCU return. The minds behind She-Hulk Attorney at Law considered including an unlikely cameo in season 1 finale, Edward Norton reprising his role as the Marvel Cinematic Universe's original Bruce Banner. The finale, Whose Show Is This?, includes a chaotic climax where many of Jen Walters' friends and enemies come together in a massive brawl, including a rematch between Bruce Banner, Hulk, and Emil Blonsky, Abomination. In an interview with the director Kat Coro said of the fight, there was a lot of talk about the fact that the last time they were together, a different actor was playing the Hulk, and Mark made quite a few jokes about that. And we did entertain the idea of swapping Mark out for Edward Norton, but that did not come to pass. I don't think Edward Norton wants anything to do with Marvel, judging by how.
Yeah, this isn't even a rumor. This is just them saying an anecdote. Oh, while we were filming, we said, what if Edward Norton would return? And then they never thought of it again.
Oh, I think there's some truth to it. I think they probably tried to get him, and Edward Norton probably told him to kick rocks.
Yeah, because
Why?
the whole reason he left, well, first they kicked him out, but he was also way too involved with the original film, like changing things last minute, because he wrote it, the original movie that he was in. He and somebody else wrote it together, and he made a lot of last second changes. He didn't like Kevin Feige was basically trying to build this universe at that time, so certain things had to fit into certain places, right, to push the universe forward, and he just he wasn't really good at like playing in the sandbox. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So they need to get another.
That's his reputation. He
Yeah.
comes on a movie set. He rewrites the entire script. He tells the director what to do.
Yeah, so that doesn't really work for the Marvel engine, right? Like, I mean, that's one of the reasons
Yeah,
why Edgar Wright left. Edgar Wright wanted to make his Ant-Man movie. Kevin Feige says, no, you need to make this Ant-Man movie. And Edgar Wright left. Ant-Man would have been 50 million times better if Edgar Wright stayed on to direct that movie.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty good the way it is.
Well, he even gets writing credits. If you see in the credits, written by Edgar Wright. But he had to leave because
story elements.
Yeah, they used enough to get a writing credit. But
I mean, just this here, Mark Ruffalo made jokes, and then we entertained the idea. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it was even something
they
that
brought
was
it up.
even close to going to happen.
They brought it up early in episode 1 or 2 when he said I was a completely different guy back then. So
Yeah,
that's true.
they made mention. I
That's
think
true.
Norton even commented on Instagram, Twitter, whatever. He laughed about it or something. I think he at least acknowledged it, but
well, I think him and Mark Ruffalo are friends.
Yeah, but do you need him on the show? I mean, you don't need to confuse it any further. It was hard enough what was it? When he had the Quicksilver, the 2 different Quicksilvers, and
which Evan Peters was the phenomenally better Quicksilver than what's his face ever was.
Correct.
I don't think that's a fair assumption, honestly.
You confuse the hell out of people by having both of them in there.
That he was a better Flash. You really only got to see Aaron Taylor Johnson as Flash for
You mean Quicksilver?
Quicksilver. Yeah, maybe like 20 minutes of it where you've gotten to see the other dude way more.
Yeah, but even like just the whole, aside from the outfit that Evan Peters wore in the X-Men movies, the silver sparkly jacket, just the little bit that you got of Aaron Taylor Johnson, just he wasn't like funny. He wasn't like, I don't know. He was very easily thrown away. Did anybody miss him after he was killed?
I did. I still miss him to this day. R.I.P.
Pour a little bit for my dead homies.
Yep. Pour it out for my dead homies.
No, Evan Peters is just, I don't know. I like Evan Peters though. So
yeah, but Evan Peters had entire scenes and set pieces built around his character.
Yeah, but he was the most memorable
major moments in those movies. So it's like, yeah, of course he's going to stand out.
But when you look at those movies that he was in, what are the most
version.
memorable parts of those movies that he was in?
The Quicksilver
parts. It was him. His scenes were the most memorable. I don't know if I can remember anything else that happened in those movies besides the slow-mo running through the kitchen scene or catching all the people when the school was on fire, or what was happening in the school that he threw everybody out?
It was blowing up.
It was blowing up. Those are the most memorable scenes of those movies. Aaron Taylor Johnson and his scenes are just kind of like meh.
That's what I'm saying. His scenes, he didn't get anything even close to that kind of attention,
right?
For his character,
except his death scene, I guess.
But I don't think he, as an actor, commands that attention either. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's not a star, right? Like he's a supporting actor.
I don't know. He was the star of 2 Kick-Ass movies.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, but the second one barely did anything in the box office, and he's not even the most memorable part of the first Kick-Ass movie.
I don't know. I love the Kick-Ass movies. I love both of them.
I do. I love
the Kick-Ass movies.
Phenomenal.
I thought the Kick-Ass movies were great, but think about the first one. Who's the most memorable part of those movies? Hit Girl and Nicolas Cage. The second one, who's the most memorable part of the second movie? Hit Girl and fucking Jim Carrey.
No, I doubt. I disagree.
No, the big Russian woman who gets the lawnmower.
Yeah, Mother Russia.
Yeah, but you guys just proved my point.
Everything about those movies are memorable, though.
You're just
but he's the center of that movie, though. He holds those movies together.
There's a lot of times when they have
surrounded by a lot of goodness.
When they have a title character that gets overshadowed by background characters, and he got overshadowed in each of those movies by the people around him.
Yep.
And She-Hulk too. Tatiana Maslany or whatever her name is gets overshadowed by her assistant, by fucking Wong by what's the chick's name that's drinking all the time? Madison.
Madison.
With a
By
Y.
everybody else in that show. They're not stars.
But it's not where you think.
They get overshadowed. In a good star, that doesn't happen. And the same can be said for Anthony Mackie. Anthony Mackie has been in a lot of starring roles, but consistently gets overshadowed by the people around him. You can be the title role. You can be the glue that holds
Is
everything
that
together.
like The Rock in the Jumanji movies, totally overshadowed by Jack Black
Oh,
and Kevin Hart?
Jack Black and Kevin Hart completely overshadow The Rock in those movies. Jack Black has the most memorable scenes in those movies.
So who's the real A-lister now?
Judging by the paycheck, The Rock.
Nicolas Cage.
Did you guys watch that? There was Pauly Shore was talking about how Nicolas Cage lives next door to him. And he
No.
saw Nicolas Cage in the supermarket. He says, "Hey man, you live next door to me." He goes, "Yeah, I know. Don't come over."
That's funny.
Like in Nevada they live or something. I don't know. But Aaron Taylor Johnson, every time I
wouldn't
see
want to
him,
brag about living next door to the Weasel?
the Weasel.
Yeah, your mom points out he was good in that Oliver Stone movie, Savages.
Whoa.
I don't
Your
even know
mom
if I
doesn't need to
remember
be
that
pointing
movie.
anything anywhere, right?
He's not a bad actor. That's not what I'm trying to say. He just doesn't have the charisma that some of these other people do. Like Evan Peters, like he comes on screen and he has this like charisma about him that draws people.
Name anything else from Evan Peters then, other than
He's in that Dahmer movie. He's
Careful,
been number
yeah,
one.
don't.
He's been
I
number
haven't seen
one.
that yet. Is he good
The
in that?
Dahmer movie's been it's fucking phenomenal. The Dahmer movie's been number one on Netflix for the last like 6 weeks or some bullshit.
I was gonna say, don't make that fucking.
All right,
throw it
Aaron
on that
Taylor
gauntlet,
Johnson also
Ish,
has an
'cause-
Oscar nomination. Let's not forget that.
For what?
Don't throw that gauntlet down, Ish, because he'll
What the
hit
hell
you
is
with
that
that.
movie called? Night something. I can't remember now.
Nocturnal animals.
Nocturnal Animals. He was Oscar nominated for that. Take
Yeah,
that.
He's
as
also
a-
in a-
but that's not to say he's not a bad actor. What I'm just saying, he doesn't have that charisma about him.
Oh, I thought he was in that movie, Nocturnal Emissions.
And then Evan Peters has also been in like 6 or 7 different seasons of American Horror Story as a starring role.
I think Lance just wants to have Evan touch his Peters.
Lance is just picking out the new. Now that Rock may no longer be an A-lister, it's going to be Evan Peters.
That dude. A-lister just means your paycheck, dude. What are movie studios willing to pay you to be in their movie? And The Rock is commanding the biggest.
Consistently,
well, we lost
not
JP.
just once. Consistently. Well, we'll see after Black Adam.
They're saying Black Adam's going to do well in the box office. I don't know how.
Well, we'll know Sunday when the numbers come out.
Yeah. Speaking of kick-ass, Chloe Grace Moretz as Emma Frost.
What's up,
Per
guys?
CBR.com, Chloe Grace Moretz has confirmed she's held discussions about coming into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Admittedly, it'd be a major get, as Warner Brothers and DC would surely love to land someone of her stature. What's also intriguing is that Moretz admits she'd like to play a villain, and Marvel already has a role that would match her perfectly, Emma Frost. And that's the Emma Frost thing is an opinion of CBR.com. There's no foundation to say that she's talked about Emma Frost with Marvel, but
Well, she is quoted as saying that she talked to Marvel about playing a major female villain. And really, what
This
other
would make
major
sense.
female villains are there?
this would make sense for that. But what I'm saying is there's nothing that says Emma Frost. That's just all conjecture, right?
Makes it looks
Well, what
good
does
to me.
Demois say?
He says
You guys-
that
you
Dim
guys
Watt
see
says
it?
100%
Dumas.
Emma Frost.
Dumas says, "Hell yeah."
Do you guys see her as Emma Frost? As
Yeah,
a
I do.
younger Emma Frost. I mean, she's what, early
I
20s?
can see her in a variety of roles,
But a
numerous
villain
different
specifically. She
X-Men
wants to play a villain.
Yeah, like
I
a
thought
Madame
Ish was going to
Mask.
say positions, and I was going to be like, hell yeah, Ish.
I can see her in
See her in a
numerous
variety of
positions.
positions.
She is a cute girl. She used to not
Feet,
be a cute girl.
hair, on all fours. No, wait.
If it wasn't Emma Frost-ish, what other villain do you think would she fit? Did I say that right? What
Would
other
she
villain
fit
would you?
into?
Yes,
She could play Rogue because a lot of people forget Rogue started out as a villain and then
I think she'd be a good rogue, but I don't know if that's what she wants to do.
What about Black Cat?
ooh, Black Cat would be good too.
Black Cat, there
would
you
be
go.
great.
No.
Madame
She-
Mask,
But that would
not
be
a very well-known villain, but she could do a lot of things with that.
We were talking about like these actors and actresses that have like a charisma about them. She's been in bad movies to where I'm like, oh, I enjoyed that because she was in it. Like she has a certain charisma about her that's likable. Does that make sense?
yeah.
I think she's a good actress. I mean, she was in the first Equalizer movie, right?
Yeah, I think she was. You're right.
Yeah,
I don't
in
remember.
which she's likable. Like she's never not likable in these movies. The Carrie reboot that they did with her was awful. She was good.
She was in. Can you name the movie that she was in with Borat with Sacha Baron Cohen?
No, I can't.
Hint, you mentioned it earlier. They were
Hugo?
both in Hugo. Yeah.
Was she in Hugo?
Yes.
I need to watch that movie again, dude. That movie's forgettable. I remember watching that movie with my kids, and I can't tell you a single thing
That might be
happened
like
in that
one of the
movie.
best kids movies ever made. That's an amazing movie.
Yeah, I think it was just I watched.
But it was
with my
also one of
kids,
those
and
you
I
had to
thought it was the
like
first mistake.
you had to go see it in like 3D IMAX and stuff. It was like kind of like Avatar. It was an
bombed.
experience movie.
Do you remember it bombed?
It didn't bomb, but it was super expensive and it didn't do as well as it should have.
I don't think they made their money back.
They didn't make their money back, but it didn't it still, did well. A lot of people went to see it. It was just so crazy expensive.
Yeah, all I remember about that movie, it has something to do with trains, right?
Well, it does take place at a train station, yes.
Okay, so I'm not wrong. All right. Well, so Rogue, anybody else that you guys think that she could play?
She could probably
I think
play
so.
Elliot Page.
I like your mom says she could play Sue Stormbang in Namor. I like that.
She wouldn't be a bad Sue Storm. She's kind of young though. You'd have to get
Again,
Reed Richards like in
An
his
old Reed Richard and a young. That's perfect.
What about
Reed
a
Richards in
gender
his early
swapped
30s?
Silver
That's
Surfer?
No, you need an old Reed Richards and you need her. It'd be perfect.
I would not be surprised if they tried to gender swap Johnny Storm. If they were going to gender swap somebody,
Johnny with
Storm.
an I.
Yeah, seems like Jenny Storm.
Jenny, so how about gender
don't
swap
think-
Thing?
I just don't think they need to gender swap anyone in Fantastic Four because they've already got the strong female character in Sue Storm.
Yeah,
Roseanne
but
just
Barr
make her
is the
better.
Thing.
Roseanne Barr is the thing.
Oh,
I could get behind that.
You'd
The
go
ar-
see that.
the article I was reading about Adam Driver as Reed Richards, they were saying, well, Marvel will miss an opportunity to get a black actor as Reed Richards, like David, the guy from Tenet. They were saying,
Oh, yeah.
or the dude from The Good Place. Like they're just always looking for a character that they could be like, oh yeah, that would be fine as a black actor. That'd be fine as a female character. Like Marvel's looking for those opportunities to like be woke or whatever.
I don't know. I didn't like I don't like how they cast Nick Fury initially, but you gotta love Samuel L. Jackson, and
Oh, he kills it.
He kills it. So I mean, sometimes they see it and we don't, and it works, and sometimes we see it and they don't, and it doesn't work. So,
Well, Michael B. Jordan, I thought was great. He was in a shit movie, but was great as Johnny Storm.
yeah, I fell asleep through that second Fantastic Four, so I can't tell you how the ending even went or a bit of that movie, but I tried to watch it a couple times. So,
All right, so that brings us to the end of our geek news segment. Now it's time for it's time for an Absolute Geek Podcast review. You guys ready? And Ish says, see you later. See. Ish, are you even planning on seeing this movie?
No, he just said I saw it for him.
I totally had plans on seeing it last night. And then when you guys all said you're seeing it, I'm like, you know what? They're seeing it for me. So I said, Matt, you guys are taking a hit for the team here. I still might go see it. Just a name drop for Eric Williamson if he's listening.
Do you guys like the little poop emoji?
He's back from Europe, so he was like, maybe we'll go see it together.
He's over there shilling books in Europe, yeah.
I find it so. Let me first start off by saying that I get so. Matt replies on Max's comment, who I agree was a little too generous, but says, I think these guys are being too generous. I gave it a 6 out of 10. Then I go see Matt's review and he gives it a fucking 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
So I'm one digit off from Matt and I'm being too generous just because I don't fucking agree with him.
No, you don't have to agree.
I was expecting like a 2 out of 10, a 3 out of 10. You give 5, I get 6, and I'm way too generous.
You're generous, man.
Max gave the 7, right?
Max gave it a 7, but Max is easily impressed by flashing lights.
But what he wrote too, he was like, yeah, it's a really shitty movie. I kind of still liked it. 7 out of 10.
Max will come to you and say, that was a really shitty movie, but it's a 9 out of 10.
That's why I thought the 7. I'm like, that's really generous. Like,
so Max is the guy that, like, when we were on Couch Crunchers, we had a rating system that was couch cushions and throw pillows or some bullshit. He really advocated for the throw pillows, the half a point. Like, the throw pillows were added because of Max.
Because that's a hill you really got to die on.
Right? And he would always rate his fucking movies so high and then shit on him. He'd be like, it's a 4.5 out of 5. But it was a shit movie. And I'm like, dude, do you even understand how fucking rating systems work? Now, there is one thing.
There could be exceptions for like guilty pleasures, but I don't see this Black Adam as being guilty pleasure. Guilty pleasure's got to be something like you hold with you your whole life and you know it's a crappy movie, but you still love it.
Phase 4 of Marvel sucked so far for the most part, or whatever phase we're in. This was one of the better movies of the year if you look at a superhero movie.
Oh, that's a bold statement, sir.
That's a high bar, man. I walked out of the theater saying this guy was saying that he liked this better than Doctor Strange. I can't agree with that.
I think Doctor Strange was okay, was good. Thor sucked. I was looking forward to that one. This one, I thought was good.
So what superhero movies have we gotten this year? We've gotten Doctor Strange, Thor, this one. Is that it?
Put in She-Hulk, put in Moon Knight, like put in the whole everything.
You want to put in the Disney Plus shows?
Yeah.
So JP, Ish, before we start, Ish hasn't seen this. So Matt, do you want to give a quick synopsis of this, or do we need that?
We've had hold on, I'm gonna answer a question real quick. The Batman. This is just Morbius the movies. The Batman, Morbius, Thor, Doctor Strange. Batman. And that's pretty much it.
Batman was the best movie of that group.
The Batman comes out.
Batman was the best one with Doctor Strange. Then this one, I'll say, this was the one. I didn't think that this one was that far behind Doctor Strange, in my opinion.
I think
I guess everyone agrees it's better than Morbius.
Yes,
and it's better than Thor.
Stated?
Yes, I guess
it's better than Thor.
Morbius is bottom, then Thor, then this. Then Doctor Strange, and then Batman. But Batman and Doctor Strange, I would put they have pretty solid leads over this. I know JP says Doctor Strange and it are close, but for me, there's a gap there. Like, there's you would put fuck.
Basically,
Moon Knight was better than this, I think.
The synopsis of this movie is that Black Adam's home world, or well, I shouldn't say home world, but homeland of conduct is being taken over. It starts off in ancient times, and they're being ruled by an evil dictator or pharaoh or whatever you want to call it. The Shazam wizards grant power to who is to be known as the hero of conduct, who is supposed to free the people from the evil overlord. Fast forward, conduct has now evolved into a modern society, but it is still plagued by the same problems. They're looking for this crown that's supposed.
They're still being oppressed.
Yeah, that's supposed to grant these powers. And in finding the crown, the woman who finds it is about to be killed. So she reads the inscription on the tomb of Black Adam. He comes and they are trying to get him to be the hero of conduct, which they all think he is. And for some reason, unbeknownst to me, Amanda Waller sends the Justice Society, made up of Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Atom Smasher, and Cyclone in there to fight against Black Adam and apprehend him. And there you go.
Which, was it just me, or did Atom Smasher's helmet look just like a blue Daredevil helmet?
It
or
looked like
not Daredevil, Deadpool.
Daredevil.
Yes.
Deadpool.
It looked like a blue Deadpool.
It looked like
helmet.
they said, "Hey, Marvel, can you send us one of those Deadpool helmets that you
We'll
have?"
just
And they just
spray
spray
paint
painted it blue.
Yeah.
The eyes were identical. Everything was identical. But
They
I
went to a
liked
spirit Halloween
Cyclone. I liked Cyclone and Atom Smasher. I did like them both, and I liked Pierce Brosnan as Mr. Fate.
Oh, he was awesome.
Dr. Fate.
Dr. Fate. Sorry, I knew that.
I thought Hawkman was cool as hell. I thought I didn't know Hawkman was a wealthy guy. I didn't read the Hawkman comics, so I thought that was a good take on like making him sort of an Iron Man type person with the wealth, like Batman, Iron Man type. So I thought that was cool, and I thought he killed it. I'm not killed it, but I thought he was a great in that role. I thought it was a good character.
I think they ripped off Iron Man. They ripped off Marvel's Iron Man. Make it like even his helmet is similar. The way the nanobots come and fit. Like I thought Hawk.
Yeah, he looked like the X-Men leaving in the plane. So I mean, they ripped off a bunch of stuff there, but
it wasn't even like original. At least Cyclone, like the way she was moving through, like when she was fighting and twisting and stuff, like at least that looked original. But even Atom Smasher, who I liked the actor that did the role, like I thought he was really funny. Noah Centineo, I think his name is. But even that looked like a complete ripoff of Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Like when Ant-Man turns big, like even the way he's moving looks the same. And they kind of make him klutzy too, like he trips over things and stuff. He's very much, if I didn't know any better, it was almost like they took the CGI that Marvel did to make Giant Man and used it in this movie.
Yep.
None of it seemed, that's my biggest issue with this movie is he said this is going to change The Rock said this is going to change the DC landscape. This is nothing like you'd ever seen before. Everything in it was shit.
He is about to change.
Yeah. Everything in it was shit that I've seen before. He's not even a good anti-hero. What does he do that's bad? He kills bad guys? That's bad?
Well, he had been sleeping for 5,000 years and knew what teamwork meant within a couple hours of meeting those guys. So I thought, I think this is far-fetched, but again, this guy's flying and throwing people hundreds of miles. So what are we really worried about the details here? So
yeah, I don't know, man.
Well,
it was a good movie, in my opinion.
For people who know Black Adam, they basically take his
origin,
Fawcett Comics origin, and slam it together with the New 52, with Jeff Johns' New 52 origin. Like they had some sort of like weird fucking sex child, and that's the backstory you get for Black Adam. And to me, this movie doesn't make sense. There's a lot in this movie that doesn't make sense. One, the kid in the movie that portrayed, he's a terrible actor. His performance is so ungodly.
You're talking about the kid in the current time?
Yes.
The skateboarding kid? Yeah.
Yes.
I think he's going to win an Emmy for that.
Oh my God.
You don't win Emmys for movies.
man. The villain.
Well, Golden Globe, sorry.
What was the villain's purpose? What was the villain's drama?
I have no idea.
Other than, I'm a descendant of this, and this. Like, he really had no... Like, that was the biggest... I saw that coming. The minute he landed there, like, I was
see it the minute he said... She asked him, where's this guy? And he goes, he was claustrophobic. And very well that... Like it fucking ruined the surprise at the very moment that you.
I didn't think that anybody knew that he was a descendant of that king until you looked at both of them. They kind of looked related later on when you saw that the king in a better light, I guess. But I did not. I knew he was the anti-hero he was the bad guy, but I didn't realize he was a descendant. I didn't see that coming, in my opinion. In my eyes, I didn't see that coming.
Maybe so, because I really stopped paying attention at that point. My biggest gripe with this movie was just how stupid he looked.
Who?
The bad guy.
I thought he looked dope. Like when he transformed.
Oh my
he
gosh,
looked
that was
awesome.
so, that was so uninspired. Hey,
He
let's
had a
have
pentagram
demon.
on his chest.
Yeah.
That
He
was
looked like
the
a
dumbest
Slayer
part.
album.
That was
He
the
had like a
dumbest
Slayer
part.
album right on his chest.
He looked like Hellboy with a pentagram on his chest.
That's you can't.
Look, nothing about that was original. Nothing
he
about
looked
that
exactly like he does in the comics. They nailed it, honestly.
I thought he looked stupid.
Perfect.
I don't have a lot of familiarity with Black Adam or Shazam in general as far as comics are concerned. I don't have a lot of familiarity with DC comics in general. I was more of a Marvel kid when I was growing up. So maybe that's it. But I saw him on screen and Max will tell you, I laughed when he came on screen because I thought he looked so fucking stupid. He looked like every supernatural villain I've ever seen. Like,
I thought he was a cool Steppenwolf. That's what I thought.
Oh, Steppenwolf looked bad too.
Yeah, but I thought they made him look better than Steppenwolf. I was like, oh, he looks pretty menacing. I thought.
But he's supposed to be like the main bad guy of the movie, and that fight took all but like 20 seconds.
Yeah, it definitely falls into the same trope that Marvel, most superhero movies do, where the bad guy really holds no weight. And
it would have been if he was that formative, they should have kept him alive and have that go into the second movie. But no, Black Adam just gets really rage filled and by the way, there's spoilers in this, but I don't know if anybody really cares. But Black Adam just gets so rageful that he tears them into two like nothing. He's like, tell him the black man sent you. What does he say?
The Men in Black sent you.
The Men in Black sent you, and then rips him in half like it was nothing. I'm like, well, that wasn't that like impactful. That wasn't like this guy was supposed to be the demon spawn of hell or something like that, and he just didn't even stand a chance.
Well, he had to fly up in the air before he could rip him in half. It took a while. He couldn't do it when the guy was quick to fly up. Then he had the strength to rip him in half.
But I will say this. I think aside from the writing, the action scenes were really cool. Like when Black Adam was flying through killing people, I thought it looked awesome. CGI was better than most Marvel movies have been as of late.
And they cut that scene with him flying next to the two planes.
Yeah, that wasn't in there, was it?
No, it wasn't. Which is good because that looked pretty cheesy.
It looked just like Iron Man.
Yep.
But he looked cool. Like, and The Rock, with what he was given, I think did a decent but the problem with The Rock is Black Adam is supposed to be like, you're not supposed to like Black Adam, right? But The Rock in this movie is kind of charismatic the whole time.
I thought he was dull and boring. I thought he showed absolutely no emotion whatsoever when he was on the screen. He was just deadpanned.
But I think he was supposed to be that way.
Was that
Black
a
Adam
joke?
till the end.
Like
That's sarcasm.
I don't think he did a bad job.
No, I think he did good.
Listen, why are we in this trope all of a sudden where these characters have to be funny? Everyone criticized
because DC wants to be Marvel.
Well, listen, everyone criticized DC for being too dark. Here's the one character where you can steer into the curve and it works. Black Adam is just that one character. Like, his origin story is he kills his own nephew for the ultimate power, for God's sakes. Like, he's not a good guy. Like, his origin in the New 52, he basically grabs Billy Batson by the mouth and says, you think you know who I am? Let me show you. And shows him killing his nephew and everything that happened. And then he proceeds to wipe the floor with the Shazam family. Like, he is just
that would have been a better movie.
Yeah, exactly. He was just that one character that, and then he summons acquires all these gods to go fight him. And it feels like they've taken, like, because I saw the trailer for Shazam: Fury of the Gods, which that movie looks like absolute dog shit too. He acquires all these gods to go fight against the Shazam family, and it feels like they're taking the story of this Black Adam's origin from the New 52 and splitting him and just kind of like peeling pieces out to fit this movie and other pieces out to fit this movie. And it just, I don't know, it's just not.
Well, I will say this. So I'm looking up reports on how it's performing right now. And I wish Ish wasn't off camera for this. It's
gonna do good because it's The Rock. Let's be honest. It's gonna do good because it's The Rock.
This movie has had his best opening out of any other movie he's ever done.
But it's also a superhero movie, so that helps him too.
But I think The Rock played Black Adam. I don't know the Black Adam, the backstory, but I think he did a fine job
with what was written for him.
But I didn't like the fact that he was supposed to be dead for 5,000 years or in a prison and understood sarcasm, all that shit. He wouldn't know anything. He didn't
able to speak English.
He didn't know what a mirror was.
He was able to speak English.
Right. But he didn't know what a mirror was, but he could speak English and use sarcasm. Again, we take liberties, but I thought the Hawkman, I thought Dr. Fate, I thought those were some cool aspects that they could use going forward. And then the end credit scene, whatever you want to call that, with Henry Cavill, I thought that really boosted things forward. But I really liked Dr. Fate. I hope he comes back. Hawkman I thought was cool, even though it was a ripoff. But again,
why? My question though is why? Why is the Justice Society there? Why is the Justice Society working with Amanda Waller? That's the whole reason she creates Task Force X, is for situations like this. So why are the Justice Society going against Black Adam and not Task Force X? Like,
because they're too busy trying to get those moths or butterflies or whatever they were in Peacemaker.
And when does
Superman start working for Amanda Waller? Like,
yeah.
And when did James Gunn's girlfriend suddenly work in a basement keeping track of prisoners?
Because she was wearing Catwoman's outfit down there. That's why.
We just saw her. She was basically on the run from... Isn't she like a fugitive at the end of Peacemaker from Amanda Waller?
Yeah.
No, that was at
the
end.
Now she's working for Amanda Waller?
That was the end of Suicide Squad. She was... I can't remember the end of
Peacemaker. No, at the end of Peacemaker, they kill...
I can't remember.
They kill a bunch of people, and they basically... Because they go against Amanda Waller's like orders or whatever, and they kill all those people or something like that, and I thought they were all on the run.
Yeah. Well, they must have made up.
And now she's working for her?
But the timeline might be different. Maybe this was before.
Like...
Maybe.
I love these superhero movies because the actors they cast have the ability to remove... When I see them on screen, I don't see the actor. I literally buy into the character they're portraying. So,
oh yeah, this one you see The Rock the whole time.
Yeah, just The Rock. That's all I see is The Rock in a cosplaying Black Adam. Like, I don't believe that he's Black Adam. I don't buy that he's Black Adam. It just doesn't. It doesn't work for me. Like,
Ish, were you listening when you went off screen? Ish. So this movie is actually killing it in the box office right now.
Is it? I looked at Box Office Mojo and they didn't even have Friday night numbers yet.
So it did 25 million its first night.
It'll do well for the first month. I mean, it was a good movie.
Opening for it's his best opening.
It's also there's nothing else to see right now.
Well, that was the argument I was trying to make.
Right, wait till Wakanda
Forever. The last thing we got. Oh, Wakanda Forever. This movie's not going to do anything once that movie comes out.
No, I agree.
Like, so last night, Max and I, that's why I was a little surprised by those numbers. And it might just be because of where I live. Who knows? But Max and I went to see this movie last night. We had 9:00 tickets. Max realizes, hey, we're at the wrong movie theater. I bought this for the movie theater in Gilbert. And we're like, oh, shit. So he canceled his order and we went over there to buy tickets for the 9:00 at the correct movie theater. And there was still 90% of the tickets left in this theater.
There was 10 people in the showing I went to.
There was barely anybody in here. Like, we had prime seats in this movie theater, like dead center with the screen in this movie theater. And yet it did 25 million its first night.
That's all of Rock's friends.
But I wonder if it's because of where I live. I really do.
I was in the theater with 5
live
people.
In Phoenix, though, Matt, and you were saying there was 10 people in your theater?
10 people, yep.
There was 5 in mine.
So
and they
where's
could
this
not get
25
the
million coming
thing
from?
to work. It took me 30 minutes to get the movie to
that's kind of
start.
weird.
And so, like, the best part of this movie is there was a kid who fell asleep in my showing who was snoring louder than the movie.
Well,
Like-
to be fair, that happened in one of the Endgame
That's
showings that I went
hilarious.
to. There was a
Yeah.
dude that fell asleep and was snoring louder than the movie.
What a jerk. It's the greatest movie ever.
I was like,
But-
dude, if you're tired, why do you come for the fucking movies?
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Don't ruin the best movie ever.
I enjoyed the action scenes. I enjoyed the special effects. CGI was good, but the plot was just boring, man. And
I have to
Yeah,
say,
I
that
agree.
I didn't feel The Rock, his rage from his time 5,000 years ago. I kind of got, I didn't know what that special had meant. Vibranium
Eternium.
ripoff.
That they
Eternium.
Right.
never explain. They never
No,
explain
isn't
to
it,
you what the fuck
nth-
it does.
Nth metal.
Eternium.
Yeah, they called it Eternium, but they
Deuterium. Okay, I was thinking
they said
something
something else later on in the beginning of the show that had I forget what the phrase was, but I missed it because they said it so fast, and I didn't really get why The Rock was so angry. And then they explained it later on about who actually was Black Adam, but I still didn't feel it. Right, I wanted to feel the rage. I didn't feel it from that. I just found it to be a fun movie to watch. Hopefully, setting up some better things coming forward.
It did
But-
set up something awesome.
Right, but it didn't really like Matt's saying, didn't really explain much as to his origin and why he was who he was and whatnot. I lost that.
It doesn't even tell. Like, that was my biggest thing with the movie is there's this like rare precious metal that they're mining for in the beginning of the movie back 5,000 years ago. This Eternium that the pharaoh or whoever it is killing people over, but it doesn't ever tell you why it's important. Like, it doesn't even, like, at one point you see them going attacking like these motorcycles that I guess run off Eternium because the kid is in one of these like motorcycles or something like that. They're looking for the kid. They're able to push a button and it's like going through matter.
Yeah,
Like, it never explains to you like where this shit came from. Is it from another planet? Like, what are its properties? Never tells you how a
it's just
crown was
resource.
created.
It's essentially DC's version of vibranium, like JP said. Like,
But it's
Yeah.
not. But it like it looks almost alien a property. Like, they're able to move through mass.
I literally thought to myself, I was like, "Oh shit, am I at a pre-screening of Wakanda Forever?" When they're like, "We got to
I felt it was
rare
more.
metal."
I felt like it was more akin to an Infinity Stone than vibranium.
yeah, but it's all over the place. So they're mining.
But it's all over the place. Like, so it has that quality of vibranium that they're mining for it, but it has these supernatural qualities that like put it in line with an Infinity
gives
Stone.
you ultimate power.
So according
Yeah,
to
but
the
I didn't
DC
like the
database,
beginning.
sorry, go ahead, Jim.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
go ahead.
I was going to say, according to the DC database, Eternium is the name given to the shards of matter that are cast off from the Rock of Eternity. Being
Okay.
near these shards removes the power of Shazam.
Which never explained that. I think they tried to hint to it when he gets hit with.
Oh, he
like,
touches
a
it and it's
blast.
like,
yeah.
yeah.
No, he gets hit with a blast and it like cuts his side, and he's like cotters his wound back up. But they
And then
never,
later when he
like,
goes to
tell you
grab
that.
it, it like shocks him or something
Yeah,
like that.
they
But
never tell you that in the movie. What it is.
I didn't like the fact that they had a made up city and this big history with this city that had no bearing on anything else in the DC universe. From what I could,
Was this new to the movie? Was that new to the movie, or is that from his backstory?
That's from his backstory. Yeah.
then I thought, okay, well, they have Gotham, which is a made up city too, so maybe okay, that makes sense. But all this shit's going on in this city, but it doesn't have any bearing on what was happening with Doomsday. You know, if they're gonna put these together as Suicide Squad and Starro and whatnot. So that was the only part that probably fell short for me, is a made up city with all this history and a statue of some huge god that, you know, no one knew about till this show, like never hinted about.
You know what's
Well,
funny?
and they kind of like touch on that in the movie though, because when the kid's like, you know, or they're talking to the Justice Society to Hawkman, he's like, the woman's like, we've been oppressed for so long, all these warlords, and you never came. Nobody
Right.
ever came. Why do you care about us now? So it was kind of like, I think it was almost like that Wakanda sense of we keep to ourselves, we try to keep outsiders out. You know, it's kind of like I got that feel from it. Like they're not messing with us, so we're not going to go looking for them type.
You know what's funny is so DC, like Warner Brothers has tried to put like more realistic, dark spin on DC, I guess you could say, but none of the cities in the DC universe are real. But yet Marvel, which Marvel kind of embraces the fact that it's kind of wacky and completely out of this world, all the cities in those are real.
Yep.
Isn't that weird?
That's just the way it's
nothing
always
to do
been.
with this movie. No, I understand that it's been that way in like Spider-Man's always defended New York and like it's always been that way, but like
Superman is
Gotham's not real,
Metropolis.
Metropolis isn't real, but yet they tried to make those movies
Central City.
not realistic, but like is Central City supposed to be LA?
No, Detroit or Chicago.
It's all
I think Detroit.
well, Chicago's Gotham.
Oh, really?
Well, but not really because Gotham is across the bay from Metropolis, so it's New York.
Yeah.
So is Gotham supposed to be like Jersey? The only reason I thought it was Chicago is because they always filmed the Batman movies in Chicago. They put like
Metropolis is probably DC, and
no, they did. They filmed the third one in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Joe's Doolin said Gotham is New York.
I
think Metropolis is supposed to be like LA.
I thought Metropolis was New York.
No,
DC.
actually, Metropolis is more like.
Metropolis is Chicago. Joe's Doolin is saying.
Well, I know the Dark Knight
Toronto.
was filmed in Chicago because I lived in Chicago when they were filming it.
Yeah, but they were there in minutes whenever they were flying from one to the other.
Yeah, but Gotham and Metropolis are literally like one next to each other.
Yeah, like literally in Batman Superman, there's a scene where Batman's standing on a rooftop looking over at Metropolis. Like that's what I said. I didn't realize that they were just across the bay from each other. Like,
so it's probably Minnesota, the Twin Cities.
I'm pretty sure Metropolis. Like, where's Joe's Doolin getting this? Because I'm pretty sure Metropolis is New York because of how bright it is and stuff. And Gotham's always been like this seedy underbelly.
I think Joe Shuster they were in Chicago when they created Superman. So,
interesting. Vermont.
Actually, I must say they were in Canada.
It's probably Pittsburgh.
The co-creators, the original artists of Superman, Joe Shuster, modeled the Metropolis skyline after Toronto, where he was born and lived until he was 10. Since then, however, the look feel of Metropolis has been greatly influenced by New York City and Chicago. So it's kind of both of them.
And this one says Gotham is based on New York City and Chicago. This one that I'm reading.
Yeah, so that makes sense. The Metropolis is Toronto and Gotham was New York.
But it's saying that Gotham City is traditionally depicted as being located in the U.S. state of New Jersey. Gotham's look and atmosphere are primarily influenced by New York City and Chicago, although it was designed to be more generally resemble any major American city. So that's what I'm thinking. If it's across the bay, then Metropolis is New York and Gotham is New Jersey.
But New York also still exists in the DC universe. Don't forget that.
Oh my gosh. This is confusing.
Yeah, so
we're going to make up a bunch of cities, but the real ones still exist too.
Don't think about it. Yes, they all kind of just exist together. Nobody
think about
drew
Avengers.
A map.
What's the area that they destroyed in Avengers Age of Ultron?
That's Sokovia.
Sokovia. That was the only non-real place I think they had in most of the Marvel shows we watched, right?
So Christopher Nolan filmed
non-fictional place, yeah.
Filmed his.
We'll wait till Latveria comes into play.
Yeah.
Yep.
Christopher Nolan filmed the first two Batman movies in Chicago. The third one was filmed in New Jersey to honor Gotham's location in the comic books.
It was filmed in
Pittsburgh.
Where I was there.
It says it was. Oh wait, it was deliberately set. No, it's filmed in New Jersey.
No,
so they must have just filmed some of it.
The third one is they filmed a lot in Pittsburgh because the scene where they're at the football stadium, that's literally Heinz Field.
I was the stunt double for Bane in the Heinz Field.
So they must have filmed the big city.
And I'm glad
stuff
you're all right
in-
because those are some crazy stunts he did.
So the city scenes must have been New Jersey.
No, because the courthouse scene where he's fighting Bane was Pittsburgh.
Well, then Wikipedia's lying.
There was some filmed in probably Jersey, but most of it, like Matt said, it was Heinz Field. There was the courthouse right in front of downtown Pittsburgh,
and like helicopter shots of the river and the bridges and.
I don't know. Well, we've detracted a little bit. So JP liked this movie.
Yep,
Matt did not.
I give it 5 thumbs up
Out of 10 thumbs.
out of 6. I give it
Damn,
5.
that's some mutant hands right there, dude.
All
these
thumbs,
thumbs.
dude.
I give them a
thumbs.
Grateful Dead. A Grateful Dead.
Listen,
4 fingers.
I was hoping that this movie would be. I was surprised because I thought it was going to be worse than it was, but I like the idea that they're pushing Black Adam to be this just anti-hero, this ruthless anti-hero.
he's
Like
not.
they pitched him to be like different than anything you've ever seen. And all he is like he's a little bit more emo Superman. Like
I didn't even
And-
believe him as an anti-hero.
like
I'm like,
I
dude,
think
you only killed bad guys.
yeah, I think it would be way cooler instead of it being like, oh, well, my son was the one who received the Black Adam powers from the wizard Shazam, and he gave them to me to save my life. Hell no. It would have been so much better if they're getting beaten, like when he, if it's his uncle and he runs up to him when he's got his hands up, and as they're about to kill him, they transfer him in and they give him the powers, and he runs over, to give him to the Rock's character, who's his uncle and not his dad. And as soon as they both say Shazam, he covers the kid's mouth and he takes all the powers and kills his nephew. And then you see him come do his thing. And it would have been so much better if they fought the Shazam family versus whatever the hell they decided to do here. So I feel like I can see where they could have made this character better and they could have done this movie better, but they took the safe route. And like I said, I like the action in it. I don't think there should have been any humor. Like Black Adam should not be a humorous character. There should be no joking. He should be more ruthless than funny. And
I think though, if you have The Rock and he doesn't have any humor with him, he completely does not work.
he doesn't need to be The Rock.
No,
To me, this
I
movie
agree.
is
They
The
should have
Rock
cast
playing
somebody
The
else.
Rock playing Black Adam.
They should have cast somebody else, but they kind of wanted to.
No,
They
The
wanna-
Rock is perfect. He's got the perfect build. He's the perfect person to play this character.
But you
put
can't
the
have
hair on
The
him.
Rock. You can't have The Rock in a movie and him not be funny.
Sure, you can.
No,
He wasn't funny in Gridiron Gang. He wasn't
Yes, he
really
was.
in Gridiron Gang.
He
Not
cracked
really.
little jokes and stuff. Yes, he did.
You don't have to have The Rock be funny, man. Like you can have him be a serious character, and it just
I don't think
Like,
he's a good
you
enough
want him to
actor
be
to be
more
a serious
ruthless.
character. I
well,
don't
he
think
showed
he's a.
absolutely zero emotion in this movie whatsoever. Like he had no depth. He had no inflection really in his voice when things were going on. It just, I give it 5 because it was watchable, and it's probably the most watchable thing DC outside of the Batman, Joker, in
You're talking about
Peacemaker.
in the DCEU. It's the most watchable thing.
Yeah,
in the
it's the most
DCEU.
watchable out of the DCEU in a long time.
I would prefer to watch Shazam over this.
Nah.
You didn't like Shazam. I would definitely prefer to watch Shazam over this.
I liked them both. I thought Shazam was good. I thought this was good too.
I
thought-
just don't know how they're going to fit later, the two of them.
Yeah, because it should have been right here since they have the same powers and they got the powers the same exact way.
They're
No
probably
mention.
And
of
the
Billy
Black
Batson.
Adam is the only reason Shazam exists because the wizard Shazam regrets. They even mentioned Black Adam in the first Shazam movie about
Mhm.
how he gave powers and it basically bit him in the ass. So he's now choosing Billy Batson because he's pure of heart. So
Mhm.
they literally talk about Black Adam in the beginning of the first Shazam movie. So
Which
Yeah,
don't you
it's-
think that Billy Batson would have like felt something as soon as Shazam came to being? Like, wouldn't he have like their power comes from the same place? So wouldn't he have felt that?
well, he hears about him in the comics, and that's what makes him go look for him. And then
Yeah,
Black
so-
Adam, he comes to Black Adam as Billy Batson, and Black Adam says, "Oh, I can tell that you're the Wizards champion. I can smell it on you."
So wouldn't it have made more sense instead of Superman at the end of this movie to have Zachary Levi be at the end of this movie?
100%. Yes. It would have been more. It would have made more sense to have Zachary Levi be the protagonist, the bad guy in this movie, and
But not really the bad guy.
Yeah.
But
Like-
was Shazam always like Zachary Levi plays Shazam as a funny role? Was that
Yeah.
the way it was in the comics? Always
He's
joking.
always kind of been a more lighthearted character
Because he's a kid. That totally makes
Because
sense.
they made him the opposite of Black Adam. Black Adam is that serious, ruthless character, and Billy Batson, Shazam, as a kid, he's lighthearted, he's pure of heart, so he's more comical. Yes.
See, that's the reason I like Shazam more than this is I'm just here for Zachary Levi, dude. I'm a stan for Zachary Levi. Like, I love that guy. I think that he's hilarious. The movie was more lighthearted. I felt like that was DC's like attempt to make a Marvel movie, and they succeeded in making a Marvel movie, essentially. Like, I feel like that movie fits into the Marvel universe better than the last few we've gotten from Marvel. You know, like that Shazam feels like a Marvel movie, like Iron Man's going to come swooping in at any moment. But
No, it was good. I
don't know.
They should have put him in some part of that movie.
Did you like Shazam ish? You're on.
I did.
Yeah, JP, you liked it?
Yeah.
Matt's
Yep.
the only one that
I
didn't
thought
like it.
I thought it had like the correct tone, kind of a little more family friendly.
Yeah.
You know, wasn't, you know, it's not my favorite movie, but there was nothing in it that, you know, that I disliked, I guess.
And this,
And without
I
having
totally-
seen Black Adam, I would expect this movie to totally connect with Shazam.
Right?
Yeah, it doesn't.
It does because they use the same wizard from Shazam.
Oh yeah, the guy from Never Back Down.
Yeah, and from Gladiator, right? He was one of the gladiators.
Is he in Gladiator?
Yeah,
That same actor?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
he was also in Guardians of the Galaxy.
But Joe's
Yes, he
doing
was.
so. Joe's doing says they cast Vin Diesel to say, "I am Groot." The Rock can be serious. Vin Diesel started as a serious actor, and if you remember, Vin Diesel hasn't done really any comedy movies except like The Pacifier.
Dude, I'm here to tell you, The Rock was more menacing as Hobbs in Fast and the Furious than he was as Black Adam.
But he was also funny at times as Hobbs. Like he would say these
That's
little
fine.
one-liners.
But
But that's what Black Adam does. Black Adam's not out there like saying jokes with a punchline.
dude, The Rock is a professional wrestler, man. He played babyface, he played bad guy, heel, babyface. He did it all. He can play serious. He doesn't have to be funny. I think that's you just typecasting him in your mind, that you're saying, oh, well, The Rock won't be good if he's not funny. He's got to be funny. He doesn't. Like, he does not have to be comical whatsoever. I think this role, he would have killed this role if A, they put the Widow's Peak on him, B, they gave him a
Did you see
little
the
bit more
little
serious
tease of the
tone.
Willow Peak? Did you see that
And kept-
tease?
No, and kept the R-rated movie, the R rating, and they took the jokes out and just let him be more ruthless and serious. Like, even when he's talking to Superman, it's like, oh, you're gonna try and punk Superman. Like, it wasn't even more. Like, he should have said something along, step over here and I'll make you bend the knee to me, or he should have been more like cocky and menacing to Superman.
He should have been
than
a bad
he
guy.
was.
He should have been a bad guy, and not at one point do I believe that he's a bad guy in this movie.
Because
In
there's
the
an
beginning, you
animated.
thought he's a bad guy until towards the end he becomes the hero they wanted him to be.
Yeah,
Well, and
there's
then Go ahead, Matt.
there's an animated movie called Superman Shazam, the birth or the dawn of Black Adam, or birth of Black Adam, or something like that. And Black Adam smacks the shit out of Superman and Shazam throughout that movie. So like, I'm just saying, like, come on, man, you should have turned it up a couple, steer into the curb. You always get this notion or typecast of DC being dark. Steer into it, man. Steer
Well,
into it.
apparently, when they did the original screening of this, they had to cut scenes out because it earned an R rating. And I'm
Yeah, they
much,
should have kept it already.
yeah, I much would have rather this been an R-rated movie, because those beginning scenes where he's killing all those soldiers and stuff are fucking awesome. When he's just flying through like, I don't give a shit who you are, I'm gonna fucking punk you. The thing that bothered me the most is he's like, heroes don't kill, but I do. Or he said something to that effect. Wasn't
yeah,
the big
Batman
gripe
runs
that
around with a
Batman
gun
killed
shooting
somebody?
everybody.
Yeah, Batman killed somebody just 3 movies ago. And didn't Superman kill somebody in Man of Steel? Doesn't he kill Zod?
Killed Zod. Yep.
And everybody was pissed about that. So this isn't even the first time that a superhero has killed somebody in this
Yeah, but
universe.
Superman was really broken up about killing Zod.
He was
I mean,
really broken up
tremendously.
about it.
He cried after he killed Zod. So I mean, Black Adam didn't give a shit about throwing some guy 200,000, 200 yards or 200 miles into the ocean.
So like Amanda Waller and the Justice League Society, or whatever they're called, Justice Society, they're saying Black Adam, we've read transcripts that you guys haven't seen. He's a bad guy. He kills people. But yet the world's champion, so not the Wizards champion, the world's champion of Superman killed people. But that was okay. But Black Adam needs to be put down because he kills people that are bad.
Yeah, but Superman killed Zod because he's about to kill a family of people.
Yeah, but these people that he was killing, like,
then
first of all, he killed the Pharaoh that was like killing people.
He stood back and watched that poor guy get murdered against the wall because he couldn't go around the corner. Like,
what do you mean?
And Superman, and there's a shot where Zod's like doing the eye lasers in the hallway, and there's a guy against like the wall, and all he's got to do is like take 2 steps to his left and go around the corner, and he'd be all right. And yeah,
just
all those buildings fell on people. I mean, I'm sure there's thousands that got killed with all those buildings that fell. So why he had to break his neck at the end of Man of Steel to save the other family, there's other people he could have saved in that movie. So
yeah.
The other thing, I know you liked it, but I thought Hawkman was ridiculous in this movie. His armor looked terrible. His wings looked like they should have been so big and clunky that like he couldn't even got lifted off the ground.
Yeah, he looks honestly, like he weighs 1 trillion pounds.
Yeah, the only ones that I thought, like, I think Pierce Brosnan steals this movie. His portrayal of Dr. Fate. Yeah, and I liked Atom Smasher for what he is, and Cyclone. I love the CGI and effects they used for Cyclone. That was really good. But
every time she's flying through the air, it's mesmerizing because
they stop and they show her eyes every time she's moving.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one power set. It's the one power set in the movie that looks completely original, because even Dr. Fate, a lot of his movements and stuff look like Doctor Strange ripoffs. Like when he multiplies himself and he's like climbing all over Black Adam trying to hold him down, like Doctor Strange multiplies himself in the first Doctor Strange movie, right? Or no, he does that against Thanos. He multiplies himself all around Thanos, right? Like that was pretty much the same thing as Infinity War.
Yeah.
Every other character in this thing was just a ripoff of something we've seen before, but Cyclone seemed completely original, like the way she moved and the way she fought people. But my one issue with Dr. Fate is Pierce Brosnan did such a good job, like, and then they kill him.
Well, we don't know if he's going to come back. I mean, Superman came back after Man of Steel, after Superman versus Batman.
Like, I feel like Marvel movies, there's this big long list of criteria that makes a good Marvel movie. Like, and DC's criteria is just be better than Batman, Superman, Dawn of Justice, or Justice League, and you're good. Like,
did no one like Batman versus Superman?
No, I hated that movie.
Oh man,
that movie had some cool action.
I love the extended version.
The extended version is light years better.
It's my favorite DC movie.
It's light years better because it fills a lot of plot holes that were created in the theatrical version. The Ultimate Edition, isn't that what they call it, Ish?
I did not see that one. I've seen. Is it on HBO Max? Yeah, HBO Plus. I mean, or whatever you call it.
I'm not sure if it's on HBO Plus, but I know that the Blu-ray, you can buy the Blu-ray. It's the Ultimate Edition.
This is the Black Adam the world wanted, and we didn't get.
So right in the
hero
movie,
we want, but not the one we need.
Yep.
In the movie, he's telling the story about what actually happened, right, during that last. And I guess I can minimize this now, right? He tells a story about what actually happened when he got his powers, and it shows a silhouette of Black Adam, his son being Black Adam, right? And in that silhouette, he has the Widow's Peak. And then just a couple shots later, it shows his son, which, by the way, the actor playing his son as the full-grown Shazam is the same guy that plays The Rock in the TV show.
Really?
No.
It's the same actor.
No, I think it's a stunt double.
No, it's the same actor.
Did you look it up?
I'm going to now. But
I don't think
I
it's
watched
the
that
same
show,
actor,
and
man.
it's
So do I.
$10. It's not him.
Yeah.
yeah, Uli Lutkeffu or whatever.
$10. You
Is
can
it?
pronounce it right.
Uli Lutkeffu. Come on, fucking go to him. What the hell? IMDb. He is in
You might
Black
be right.
Adam as the champion. So the dude that plays the older Rock in Young Rock, the TV show, the one that's like in college playing for Miami, I think, is the same dude playing his son in Black Adam. And I was thinking that maybe the young kid too that plays Dewey in Young Rock might be the kid Adrian Gruel, but I'm not sure about that one. That is not the same kid. But I thought that was pretty cool seeing that. But what were we talking about? Oh yeah, it shows his Widow's Peak. So I was like, oh, they actually have the Widow's Peak.
See, because I thought it was his cousin and stunt double. Because like,
Are you showing us stuff right now? No, that's not him.
that's his cousin and his stunt double for all of his movies.
Yeah, no, it's the kid. It's this present. Stop screen, present, share screen.
Hey, look, I'll give this movie its due justice. Like, they can do deep fake way better than Marvel is right now, because it sure did look a lot better than She-Hulk when they deep fake Rock's big ass on some skinny dude's body, man.
Oh
They
yeah.
put his big old head on some skinny dude's body. It looked a lot better than whatever the hell they gave us.
Yeah, it's this
in
kid right here.
She-Hulk. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
But yeah, it says Black Adam and Young Rock. I love how it's Dwayne Johnson.
JP owes you $50 now.
Oh,
Who owes
I'll
me $50?
PayPal friends and family.
JP, he bet $50 that you'd be wrong.
no, I thought
I
he said
said 10.
5. Oh,
Then
he said
10.
10.
Oh, there's
That
my
might be
girlfriend right
20.
there. You see?
Double or nothing.
Make it 50. Come on.
Your girlfriend.
Double or nothing. Double or
That's my
nothing.
miss.
Brick oven pizzas.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I'm not often right, but I was right about this one.
But you're wrong about the kid, so you owe me $50.
So it evens
I
out.
even
Nobody
said though
owes
in that
anybody
same breath, I
anything.
don't think it was him, but it'd be cool if it was. Oh man, yeah, Anna Joe Doolin. Yeah, she is one fine lady. What are you looking at now, buddy? I love how I could just put Matt's screen on whatever I want.
All right.
Have you seen that new movie she's in, Blonde, on Netflix?
No, I plan on watching it because she's hot as fuck.
Some pretty graphic scenes in that.
All right. Well, put your boner away. And what else do you got tonight, Lance?
That's it, man. That's the end of our show. We kept it to 2 hours. See what happens when I'm the showrunner, JP?
Ish, you don't have any Trek stuff?
No, I said I could do a review of Power of the Ring.
Oh, Ring of Power.
I guess you guys ignored that DM.
Well, none of us watch that, so it's just gonna be you talking about that show.
Yeah, I wish Max was here so we could talk about it. I mean, real quick, I guess it's season one's over. I'll give it a B minus. I had to accept the fact that this is not Tolkien. This is almost like fan fiction level. But there was a lot that at least made it watchable enough that, you know, I want to see the second season, see what happens. Some of the characters are all right. As far as the main characters, like Galadriel, she's not very likable. But But then you have like Durin and Elrond, and that's a great storyline. They're those characters kind of hold up the show. And then the show just had some amazing moments and then some okay moments. If you're familiar with the lore and like the Numenorians, I think that was kind of a bit of a disaster how they portrayed them. That's all over the place.
I hear you saying
but
words.
then stuff.
I don't know what any of these words mean.
I guess this is all for anyone out there who's
Norians, are they
watching the
Jewish
show.
people?
The Numenorians, no, it's an island of badass people who are like totally not badass. And then Sam pointed out Mount Doom. The eruption of Mount Doom was a really spectacular scene. So like I said, definitely had some great moments, some not so good moments. I'm not holding it to the books because if you hold it to the books, you don't last 2 seconds. Yeah, you'll be disappointed. So you got to let them, I'm like, well, let them do their own thing and see what they can craft. And as I said, I give a B-. I think that's some bias because I'm such a fan of everything Lord of the Rings. But I don't think, there's people, if you go on the internet, there's people screaming that it's the worst thing ever and it's a blasphemy and blah, blah, blah. And I disagree with that.
Yeah, I get blasted when I say that I didn't like fucking... What's the Marvel movie that I always talk about, Matt? Civil War.
No Way Home.
Because it doesn't
Spider-Man, No Way Home.
No, Civil War. Let's talk about a show that's actually good and never disappoints.
Oh my God.
The Mighty Ducks.
Absolute Geek Podcast.
Hey, I appreciate that, JP.
Oh, wait. Last week you said if I caught up with Andor, you had some questions or some items.
Oh, no, we lost JP. Yeah, what the hell is going on in Andor?
That was it? No, you said you had something specific you wanted to ask me.
No, he said he wants someone to tell him what the hell is going on in Andor.
So I'm trying to figure out, so Andor joins, so somebody hires him to join a group of these like rebels, but he can't tell the rebels who he's actually is, and he's kind of like playing secret agent or something in this rebel group. And then
not really,
but they don't know who he is. He tells them that he's somebody else.
Yeah, because he's just a hired basically he's like a criminal.
But why does that guy, does Skarsgård not want them to know that who he is? Because
the rebels, and they even say the rebels like live off of like they eat dirt and they sleep under rocks and like they do it for the rebellion. And here's Cassian Andor, and he's doing it for 200,000, Empire credits or whatever the currency is.
But even when he tells him that he's being paid, he still doesn't tell him who he actually is.
Because I'm Batman.
Well, I don't think there's a real secret. Well, also he's a wanted fugitive.
So what are they stealing? They're stealing a record of everybody. They're stealing a record of everybody.
No, they're stealing a payroll.
The payroll, a record of everybody.
80 million.
Oh, they stole money, not a list of who's being paid?
They stole. Yeah, it's a heist.
Credit. Yeah,
the whole thing is a heist.
I don't even watch the show.
The Spectre's Garrison's payroll.
They just have a briefcase full of everybody's salary.
Yeah, they just stole the payroll for the Empire.
You watch the show?
Yeah, I did. Maybe I
didn't. Clearly, he did. Giant things of gold that they had to like load onto these trolleys and load onto the ship, like they're robbing fucking Fort Knox and Goldfinger.
But these were going to be those actual things were going to be turned around and paid to the people that work for them.
That's what got paid to the Empire. So they're stealing their money.
Oh, they're stealing the money that was paid to the Empire.
That was I
thought this was money that the Empire was paying to their employees.
Lance, what show are you watching, buddy?
Yes, it is.
So when
it's like the money like the stormtroopers get, and everybody's got to get something, to take
home. Your best friend and hetero life mate says, "Did you watch the show? It's a massive amount of credits."
Yeah.
Maybe I need to watch it again. Half the words they say, and then I'm like, okay, that's a thing. I don't fucking know. What? I just think it looks cool, and I like Andor, like him as a character. Like I think he's cool, but there's a lot of shit that goes over my head because I'm not a Star Wars fan.
He's cool,
man.
But he's kind of a scumbag though. Also, at the same time, so we see him in Rogue. We got to wait till Rogue One for him to become a hero.
I guess. I don't know. A lot of the stuff they say goes over my head. Like they're talking about things, and I'm like, what is that? Like I don't even know what they're talking about half the time.
But there was like, I don't understand
It's
why.
not a show.
why-
It's not a show that I can sit here and be like, yeah, I could tell you what happened. Like it's just because half of the terminology they're using, I don't even know. Or they'll talk about like, this is the same way I feel when I watch Mandalorian. They'll talk about these planets and stuff that are supposed to have some significance, and I have no idea why they're significant.
You know
that
what
out
the
of touch
Kessel
with
Run?
Star Wars?
I'm very out of touch with Star Wars.
So
Yeah,
the Kessel Run
Andor
12
even
parsecs
mentioned,
means nothing to you.
There was
What's that,
they
Jake?
Means
mentioned
absolutely
Solo,
nothing to
too,
him.
The heist,
Absolutely
the
nothing.
Kessel heist.
The Kessel Run.
Well, I
in
guess
12
if you don't
parsecs.
know your Darth Vader from your Princess Leia's bun hair,
I
guess
know
the show
that
won't
I
make
know the
sense,
general
but-
like I know that they need to defeat the Death Star and then
Defeat
they
the
do
Death
that. and then
defeat the Death Star.
Darth Vader's a
Coming for
bad
you.
guy who used to be a good guy but is a bad guy, gets thrown
But
into a fire pit. or
Yoda has a
something.
wife named Yaddle, right? You know all that, right?
Yeah, it's just I know like the very basic I have a basic understanding of Star Wars
And,
because
and
I
how old are
don't
you?
watch it. I'm
No, there's
37.
basic and then there's beginner, and I think you're beginner.
Yes.
How did you not watch Star Wars? And how did I don't understand? Like
My
anyone who
family,
says
I
I
didn't
never
watch
watched
the
Star
first.
Wars.
I know
I didn't watch-
7-year-olds at the shop that know more about Star Wars than you.
I didn't watch the original trilogy until I was 22
Jesus Christ, dude.
because well, here's the thing. So like
And apparently you
A lot of
retained none
people-
of the information. that you saw.
And you were older
I
then.
hated them. Like I watched them. I said, this is the dumbest shit ever. It wasn't until
Yeah,
I'm shocked.
they're
shocked.
sportsing with a ball.
Yeah. Max says Len's
like
over
their
here sounding like the
shoes.
wife who doesn't understand sports. They score
Max-
points and do the thing.
And it's
Max
And it's funny
often
'cause
has to
Andor
explain
is
to me-
so
scoring touchdowns in the
devoid.
quarter or the
Andor's
Period.
devoid of a lot of Star Warsiness. There's no lightsabers. There's no force.
That's why I like it. That's why I like it.
Yeah,
I don't
a
feel like
lot
I'm
of it
watching
is more
Star
just
Wars.
kind of a straight up futuristic
Put the
show.
ball
And then
in
once
the
in a while,
hoop
you're
and they
like,
scored
oh,
a
a droid
touchdown.
shows
That's
up.
why.
Or they
that's
said the
why
word
so far it's
speeder,
been
and
my
I'm like, oh,
favorite.
it's Star Wars. But then
That's
you,
why so
but then
far
you
it's
see
been
you
my
have trouble
favorite.
understanding it because you don't know, the
There's
moment it
just
becomes
some
Star
things that
Warsy, you lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how anyone could not
So
watch
let me
Star
let me
Wars.
so a lot of people like they tell me like, oh, my parents showed me Star Wars and stuff, right? Like because that came out a lot of us when our parents were our age, right, or younger than us. My family is from Argentina. They did not watch any of those things, so I didn't get that stuff. So I didn't watch it till I was 22, 23
None of that.
or
So you
something
have
like that.
seen it though. If you've seen it,
I
you should
did,
know
and
it.
I didn't like it when I saw it. I never watched
Why?
the original trilogy again. It wasn't until I became friends
Why
with
did you not like
Mac
the original? I don't understand that.
because I thought it was a lot of talking and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And
But
And you're
you like
blaming
Pulp
this on
Fiction.
Argentina.
You like Reservoir Dogs.
no,
You
it's
like
just
any
my
Quentin
parents never
Tarantino
showed me that
movie.
stuff. It can't be your favorite. It's not my favorite. I just say I enjoy it.
But Asher, do you like any Quentin Tarantino movie?
Yeah.
But you didn't like Star Wars. You didn't like the dialogue in Star Wars, Nerf herder, whatever.
I'm just
they
not
were.
a big. I felt like it was more fantasy than sci-fi. I'm not a big fantasy fan. Like I don't
Well,
like
it's
Lord of the
absolute
Rings.
fantasy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like Lord of the Rings. I'm not much into like swords and fucking like I'm just not a fantasy fan. That's why Rogue One and Andor feel so separated from Star Wars for me that I enjoy. Like the only reason I like the new ones that come out, the Star Wars movies, the new trilogy that came out is because of the action scenes, but half of the shit they say, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I want to know why you waste your time watching Star Wars shows then. Just let it go.
Yeah,
Because
Let it
Baby
go.
Yoda's cute.
it's just not for
And
you.
it's funny. I don't know. I don't know half the shit that's going on. Like I kind of watch it out of the corner of my eye a little bit.
Sam
But
says,
I'm not a Star
my
Trek
mom died
fan.
before I was born, Lance. Probably.
I'm not a Star Trek fan, but I can watch the shows and I can get into it. I don't know the backstory, but I love Spock. I love Kirk, back in the day, but I don't know anything about the past or the history of it.
See, I
So I
feel
can
like I
watch it
know
like-
more about Star Trek than
But
I
you
know
start
about Star
watching
Wars.
it, you eventually figure it out, right?
Yeah, one of my favorite is the what's the one where they discover light speed? With the movie where they discover light speed with the Borg, and I forget the
First
name of that
Contact.
First Contact. I think that's a great movie. I like that movie a
But
lot.
Ish, to be fair,
fair.
JP also said on the last episode that we did that he loved the fucking J.J. Abrams movies.
I thought they were
Real
good.
Housewives of Orange County. Like,
And I did not like
out.
the
I fucking hate those movies.
You really? I thought they were.
Yeah.
I thought they were good.
They're not Star Trek movies.
So,
Oh wait a minute.
Star Trek.
You like
Don't
the Star
start
Trek
with this.
movie, Star Trek 5, where they find the freaking whale that they need the whale to make that special
Yeah,
sound
it's Star Trek 4. Excuse
for
me.
whatever. Okay, sorry. My apologies.
They have to go back in time to bring the whales back
The big-ass
to the future
whale.
so they can communicate with an alien that won't destroy the Earth that's pissed off because the whales are gone. Yes, that was
Right,
the plot
so-
of the movie.
That's a plot line. Or the one in the first motion picture, Voyager. We couldn't read the whole
I
fucking
love that.
satellite. Voyager, it's Voyager. So we just
Yeah.
shortened it that way, which was cool. But I mean, again, it was
What are you
cheesy back
showing
then.
Yeah, at the end they rub off like the
Wow.
rust and stuff, and they're
Rub
like,
off.
"Holy
There
shit,
you
this is Voyager 7."
Right.
I wanna-
That was cool.
Yeah,
It was like-
Star Trek
it was
Motion
like
Pictures is one of the
Planet
greatest
Apes.
sci-fi movies ever.
I want to
Like-
interrupt the Star Trek conversation and circle back to Black Adam for a moment. So The Rock 3 hours ago posted this on his Facebook page of him going to a premiere of Black Adam and surprising the audience. And I just want you to look at this and see, like, look how empty this theater looks. There's shots where this theater just looks absolutely not even filled to capacity. Like, there's so many empty seats in this. If this doesn't scream like issues with, like, you can still see so many empty theaters in there. Doesn't it scream issues with this movie? I don't know what does.
Oh, it'll do well the first couple weeks or whatnot, but I don't
Like,
think it'll be a
It
billion-dollar
just
movie. Like
looks so. There's empty seats all here. There's just
I bet Aquaman does better than this long term than this movie does.
I don't know.
Aquaman did more money than this. Probably will do more money.
I'm curious to
There's a
see
lot
how
of
it
empty
stacks
seats in
up
there.
box office wise, how it stacks up against Shazam.
Oh, it'll beat
Shazam
Shazam.
is
It
not
won't
like
beat
a
Aquaman.
major hit.
It'll beat
So
Shazam.
if it doesn't
won't
do
beat
as well as
Aquaman.
Shazam, that's bad. It's not going to beat Aquaman. Aquaman
Right,
was
okay.
over $1 billion.
It'll probably do better than any Star Trek movie ever did, but not as good as any Star Wars movie.
Oh boy! All right.
Look, so here we go. Up front, I wish I could get it bigger. Up front here, like, look at all these empty seats. Like, you would think all these people would be clamoring to get up there to see The Rock. All
Well,
those
when
empty
you're-
seats up there,
When you're big like The Rock, you need room. Okay,
and like,
so they need to clear it out for him.
well, I'm trying to stop it. The perfect. Like, look at all these empty seats here. Like, it's just, I don't know. Right here, all these empty seats, man. Come on, like, that doesn't look like a packed theater to me.
No,
But
I guess I'll have to see it a
That's
couple
Thursday.
times to help out The Rock and his bonus.
JP wants to make sure
There
that
you
The
go.
Rock is known as an A-list actor.
Yes,
My thing with Star
He's my
Wars
favorite.
is that they seem to rely a lot on the history of stuff that's happened, and for people that aren't as versed in it, it must be like, I think it's hard to fucking remember all that shit that they're talking about. Like, they say planets and stuff. I'm like, why is that significant? Like, usually I'll watch this with
Well,
Matt
why is it not hard to the billions of Star Wars fans around the world who watch it?
because you guys
and
live-
remember it.
you guys
and-
live and breathe it. I don't.
just
like,
you have to watch them.
All those empty seats.
I don't
man.
live and breathe it, but I mean, I don't know. I've seen all of Star Wars. I don't think there's anything I haven't seen, and I understand it all. It's not that. It's not that
Oh,
hard.
maybe it's just because
Maybe it's just like you said. You don't like fantasy, and you see it, and you don't absorb it. I don't know.
yeah.
Be more
I don't know.
spongy.
Right.
Be more sponge-like with Star Wars. Soak it in.
Next time you go, just
But
take
yeah, I
notes.
agree. Andor is maybe like the least Star Warsy Star Wars.
Yeah, and that's why I like
story
it, because I like
ever.
seeing like this heist thing, but they say things in it. I'm like, okay, what? Like, why is that significant? Like a certain planet or a certain like accord that they're talking, like or certain people that they're talking about. I'm like, I don't know who these people are. So, like, am I saying that it's my favorite show ever? No, but I enjoy watching it. Like, Mandalorian, I feel like has a lot more action stuff that keeps me like invested. Like this just seems like a casual watch to me. Not
Anytime
something I
you watch-
itch to see. Like when usually I fucking forget that it comes out and I watch it the next day.
Why are you still watching it? That's my question.
See, I feel the opposite. I feel this show is so nuanced that like I can't walk away. I have to pause it if I'm going to be distracted by something because I don't want to miss.
Right, you,
I usually
Character
watch it while I'm
interaction.
you
working.
got to take notes of
or a
these
certain
movies. You gotta
line
take
of
notes.
dialogue because the show relies more on like a slow burn nuance than just
Yeah, I'm
constant
usually watching
action to
these.
keep you-
I'm
to
usually
keep you
watching as I'm
entertained.
working on like an Excel sheet or something for work or something like that. Like I'll have it on over here.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, then you're not really getting all of it, I guess. But
Over COVID, I had a buddy. I said, "Hey, we got all this time." I said, "You need to watch Marvel movies and Star Wars movies." He hadn't seen neither, any of them. He started watching Star Wars and told me it was the stupidest movie he's ever seen. He watched Winter Soldier and loved it. And again, that's the difference between the time frame of the 70s and the 2000s of how they make movies now. But I thought Star Wars was a great show. I love Empire Strikes Back, but I thought Star Wars was a good movie because the dialogue back then when they made movies in the 70s took a while to build up. Now it's all action. But he just wasn't used to it, so he thought it sucked. He saw the first 15 minutes of Star Wars, and that was it.
But there's some movies from the 70s and the 80s and stuff that I watch that aren't so action driven that I like. I think it's just the fantasy
Godfather,
aspect. I love The Godfather. I've watched The Godfather. I've watched. My dad and I usually maybe every 2 years or something watch The Godfather Part 2 because it's usually on like TNT or something like that. But we always watch it, and it's normally around like Thanksgiving. I think that we watch it. But like that stuff I watch, or I can remember fucking football stats from 10 years ago. I don't know why I can remember all this shit. But when it comes to Star Wars, like they'll say something.
But you're
and
still
like,
surprised every time by Empire Strikes Back and the Vader reveal. You're like, oh man.
Hey man, I forgot about that.
It gets you every time.
I get the core stuff from Star Wars, but there's nothing that's like I know Tatooine and like all these like certain planets, but most of it I'm just like, why is that significant? Max usually has to explain it to me. I'm like, why is this place significant? Like, where would I know this place from? And he'll remind me.
I don't know.
I just don't retain any of it. I don't even fully, like Rogue One was fucking awesome to me, and I don't even remember most of it.
Because I think you're buying into the hype of everybody telling you how awesome it is. You don't remember most of it, so you don't remember how awesome it was. You're buying into everybody around you being like,
maybe
that's the best Star Wars movie. That's the best Star Wars movie. That's a great movie. You're buying into the hype of Rogue One.
Maybe I'm subconsciously like just hearing how awesome it is all the time that I forced myself to remember that it was awesome.
Here's the thing.
But I remember walking out of the movie and liking it. Go ahead, JP.
I was not a fan of Lord of the Rings. I'm still not a fan of Lord of the Rings. Any of the I fell asleep. I fell asleep trying to watch the first one. I don't know how many times. But I don't have any problem with anyone who is into that genre, right? I get it, but I don't know anything about that Middle Earth or this and that. I get lost in that too, but because it wasn't my thing, it just didn't connect. Game of Thrones connected for me, and I can tell you about that one, but Lord of the Rings just I
watched one Game of Thrones episode and I was like, this sucks, and I shut it off. I can't get into it, dude. It's just not my.
I thought the same thing.
One episode, bud.
I watched Lord of the Rings. I said, I hate Middle Earth type. I hate this medieval stuff. And I watched Game of Thrones during COVID. And I thought it was awesome. I couldn't stop watching Game of Thrones.
I don't know.
But
Lord of the Rings to me could have been like, I don't understand people that can watch these fucking extended cuts of Lord of the Rings. Like Max watches like 4-hour long movies of Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
like
I love those.
Director. And I'm like, I want those movies to be shorter. All three of those movies could have been one fucking movie. First act, find the ring. Second act, go walk to the place. Third act, throw the ring in the pit. One movie. But no, they cut it into 3 movies. 3-hour long movie. Like, it's just so fucking long and boring, and which sucks because I love Elijah Wood, dude. I would like, that guy's fucking awesome. Like Wilfred, that show that he was in is fucking awesome, but those movies suck balls, dude. I don't know why people like them so much. I just don't get it. Not my thing. And Max and I have gone round and round and
They're
round. He's tried
basically
to make me watch these
the
movies so many
greatest
times.
fantasy novels of the 20th century.
I believe it. I understand their significance, but I'm not a fantasy fan at all. I don't like it. I don't like swords and dragons and fucking mythical beings, and I'm not into it. I don't know. My brother is here for it though. My brother loves that shit, and I just can't get into it. My brother is like Max. Like, I'm gonna watch the director extended cut, with fucking 107 deleted scenes, and
Yep.
but me,
And
I'm
then
like, hey,
complain about there's more scenes missing.
Is there a Cliff Notes version of these 3 movies that I can like finish it in like an hour? But I don't know. But
All right, so Absolute Geek has now shadow over Star Wars and Lord of the Rings.
Join us next week as we set our sights on 007.
Even 007, dude, I can fucking here for it, dude. I love 007. But I don't know.
But that's also one where I feel that you can't tell the movies from apart or who did what. For you, it's just all one big 007 movie with commercials.
You're more into it than I am. Me, I watched the 007, like any of them. I'm like, this is a badass movie. Like, because I've watched them all. I've watched all of them at least 2 to 3 times, like all the way from the beginning. Not talking about beginning of Daniel Craig, but all the way from the beginning. I watched all of them at least 2 or 3 times, and I always like them. But I just don't retain, like, there's certain things I retain knowledge on, and Star Wars is not one of them. I don't know. But I can remember fucking football stats and baseball stats from fucking 10, 20 years ago. But whatever. Or I can remember how to play a song that I wrote when I was 12. But
You just don't have that George Lucas brain.
no. I don't know. So next week is our Halloween episode, right, Matt?
We're doing a Halloween episode.
Well,
Are you
I mean,
dressed
it's
up?
around Halloween, so I
gonna
don't think we
dress
have
up,
Halloween
Lance?
plans, but it's 2 days before Halloween.
I'm having a party that night.
Oh,
Or the next night, actually, the Saturday.
this is Halloween.
And we're
This
not
is
invited, JP. I
Halloween.
thought we were your besties.
I don't blame
You're
you,
coming.
JP.
You're coming. Fly you guys out, all 3 of you.
It's too bad we didn't like Werewolf by Night didn't come out like closer to Halloween, because that would have been a perfect Halloween episode.
I haven't seen it yet, so that might be something for me to watch on Halloween.
Yeah,
Yes.
I enjoyed Werewolf by
Halloween.
Night.
Or at
This
least that
is
weekend.
Halloween.
And Werewolf by
No,
Night
no,
is
no,
very
no.
like, it feels old too, and I think that's why I love it so much, is that it feels like an old horror movie. Except for some, like, there's some new age stuff in it, like with the Bloodstone, and is it Bloodstone? Is that what it's called?
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to discuss what we're talking about next week.
I'm gonna show you something I'm here for right
Wait,
now.
before we move on, Matt, comic books.
I was just about to go there,
Okay.
dude. You've seen the gargoyle stuff that's coming out, right?
What
Yeah, actually,
gargoyle
we did the order this week for it.
So the Darkwing Duck stuff that just got announced. Oh man,
Does it look
I'm here
cool?
for this.
Are you excited for gargoyles?
Yeah, I am, but like I was always more of a Darkwing fan. Like I love gargoyles, but Darkwing was always my jam. This David Nakayama cover.
It looks like the
Beautiful.
old. It looks like the old art style.
It is.
Fucking looks awesome.
It's like a continuation of the TV show.
That's a show that I don't understand.
This Mike Adolfo cover.
Oh, that looks
Oh,
awesome. That looks very
Ah.
newer though. Like, that doesn't look like the old cartoon.
Gargoyles has some pretty good covers too.
and Leslie Lee.
Why are, like, Darkwing Duck and Gargoyle seem like, for especially people our age, that there's such, that looks like the old show.
And Trisha Foster, who's doing My Little Pony, Transformers. She did the art on God, what the fuck is that? Stray Dogs.
Yeah.
So Gargoyles and Darkwing Duck, what I was saying before, like there's such an affinity for these two shows, but each of those shows only went like 2 or 3 seasons, right? And then have never been redone. I mean,
But whoever watched them when they came out, that captured for me, I missed out on Darkwing Duck and Gargoyles.
That cover is
maybe by
so
like a year or
sick, too.
two. But I know
Yeah,
people who saw them absolutely adore those shows.
They were groundbreaking, dude. Like Darkwing Duck was like the darker version of DuckTales.
Yeah.
And DuckTales
Ooh.
was awesome. You know, the old DuckTales was fucking
Ooh.
awesome. But like there's such an affinity for Darkwing Duck and Gargoyles, but they've never been like rebooted. They've never, like, Disney has not done anything new
They're
with
back
them
now.
except to have Darkwing Duck as like a bit character in the new Chip and Dale.
Well, he was also in DuckTales, the reboot of DuckTales.
Yeah, briefly. Which I didn't.
Ooh.
Did you like the reboot? Did you watch it?
Yeah, it was all right.
It didn't hold the same. It didn't hold the same. What's the word? Charm as the original DuckTales, in my opinion.
Ooh.
They got rid of like the Huey, Dewey, and Louie had like the duck voices, and instead it's like Ben Schwartz and like Bobby Moynihan from SNL, like just speaking, so they sound like grown ass adults.
But what else were you gonna say about comics there, Ish?
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, there's a lot of hype for Gargoyles. Whenever we have like a Gargoyles pop, or a couple months ago they had the previews book with Gargoyles on the cover. So many people would be like, "Oh, Gargoyles, Gargoyles, Gargoyles."
Yeah.
So I could tell,
Gargoyles
like,
was the shit, man.
this might be big. The return of Gargoyles.
Oh, I think it'll
Gargoyles
be
was
huge.
groundbreaking. Like, I know, Ish, you were saying you missed that boat a little bit when it came out, but when
It did, and
Gargoyles
it has
came
the
out,
voice cast is Star Trek: The Next Generation actors.
Oh, I'm not gonna watch it.
is what's his face in Star Trek? What character? The guy that plays
Like Riker. I don't know who does who, but like Riker, Troy, and a couple other
Keith
people who
David.
do all the voices.
Keith David was Goliath. Is he in Star
Keith
Trek?
David. No.
Pete Davidson.
Keith David.
I'd
He's
see it.
good.
I'd watch a
He's good.
Star Trek show with Pete Davidson on it.
Have you watched his new Taco Bell commercial?
Yes.
Every time it comes on, I laugh. He's basically shitting on Taco Bell.
Because
Like
you're
in
simple
their
minded and you
commercial?
don't understand Star Wars.
Oh my gosh. Matt, do you have those comic covers for Gargoyles? Like, Ish is saying they're pretty cool. Like,
Well, they haven't come out yet. They just went.
Yeah,
FOC.
we just saw them for the first time because we were placing the monthly order. Matt, what
think
did you
the
pick up this
Gargoyles-
week?
oh, I found them.
The gargoyle ones.
This week was actually a super, super, super light week for me. There wasn't much in the way of the shop that really caught my interest. I picked up Nightwing 97. I picked up
That looks
what
pretty
else? Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man #1.
Okay.
I picked up
Check
the
out that one.
Crypt of Shadows #1. And I think that's it.
You see this one, Matt?
Yeah.
That looks fucking
Stick
awesome.
to-
G.I. Joe number 299 came out this week. And I feel like for it's been a while, but we got a lot of people are talking G.I. Joe in the shop too. Kind of excited for number 300, looking at back issues and stuff.
Yeah, and it's never
I got
got
some back
into
issues
G.I.
for sale.
Joe like comics wise. I was more into the cartoon and the figures.
Those figures can command some money these days.
Is this
Oh,
by
yeah,
the person that did
absolutely.
Stray Dogs? Because that looks.
I was
like
just
from
gonna
Stray
say,
Dogs.
yeah, is that a
Yeah, I think it is.
Tony Fleeks,
No, I think that's Trisha.
Chris Forstner?
Trisha
Yeah,
Foster.
right here.
Yeah.
I think Gargoyles was on the Key Collector for the #1 issue. Something popped up. This was months ago.
No, that's both of them then. That was both of them on that cover.
What the fuck just happened? There we go. Both of them did
'Cause-
this?
Yeah, if you look at the signature, so the TF is Trisha Foster in the heart, and then the AMF is Tony Fleece, Anthony Michael Fleece.
So they did this together, huh?
Yep. He probably drew the dog while she probably did the the gargoyle or vice versa.
What's her
Yes,
name?
yeah.
Like Minerva or something like that, right?
But what were you saying before I so rudely cut you off, JP?
I'm sorry. I just said that the Gargoyles was on. I thought Key Collector or Lords of the Long Box had mentioned that was popular. This was some months ago, and so I was kind of looking as I went to antique stores and looking through some long boxes for that Gargoyles. I never found it, so it was talked about a couple months ago. So I'm glad I panned out for somebody for something.
Oh, here's 007-ish.
There we go.
That
Yeah,
was-
Dynamite's kind of one of my favorite publishers
This
right
one
now.
looks badass right now.
They're
this
doing
one
some
looks
really
right
good
here.
books.
This is very interesting. I like that.
I like that too.
I like this one too.
Get stoked for Batman Spawn also.
Batman Spawn, yeah, and then Batman Deadly Duo by Mark Silvestri. Batman and Joker team up.
Let me ask a question. When it comes to the polybags, okay, so I have a Spider-Man 1 that I want to send in for the McFarlane signing for CGC. Do I need to take it out of the polybag and send it to CGC, or do I leave it as is and let them take it out of the polybag?
So
They'll take it
CGC.
out.
Yeah, they'll take it out.
They'll take it out, but you won't know. You'll never know what the original condition of the comic book was.
Are you gonna sign it? Get it signed?
Yeah.
All right. So what you do is I would take it out of. Well, you could keep it in the same polybag, but I would cut a window in the polybag, like just a square window, and tape it off with like painter's tape, and slide the book in there, and send it that way. So that way, he's gonna sign it, and it's still gonna be in the bag and board. So that McFarlane's not gonna fondle your book.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna still be in the bag and board. He'll sign where the window is, and then the only person touching it out of the bag and board is the person
grader.
doing the grading. Yeah.
Well, does it?
Good idea.
Won't the,
But
the
I would
book
say
have
look
a
at the
crease on
book. If you open the bag, pull it out, take a look at it. You know, at least you'll know, like, oh, all the corners are nice. You know, if there's something messed up with the book, then you're aware of that.
But doesn't the book have a crease on the back of it because of the polybag, or should it have? Or they talk about having that crease on the back. So that was. I don't want to send it away, have them sign it, have them press it, and then not get the book back for 2 years. I don't care. I bought it since it came out. So I just want it signed by McFarlane for nostalgia reasons. I don't care if it comes back a 9.0 or a 9.2 or whatever. But I just didn't know if
What
I had
book
to
is
cut
it?
out Spider-Man 1, the newsstand edition, the polybag, not the silver, not the gold, but the green edition, I guess you call it.
Hmm.
And I just didn't know if I had to cut it out of the bag before I sent it into them. But you guys were saying leave it in the bag, cut out a space for him to sign.
And he said mark it in painter's tape, right? The opening, Matt?
Yeah.
Mark it in painter's tape on the actual plastic.
I'll say there's no guarantee that he's going to follow that direction, though. So they might end up just taking it out of the bag and adding it to his queue to be signed.
And the book's not worth more than $20. I don't care, but it's going to cost me $120 to get the damn thing signed.
Yeah.
Which,
jeez, is that what he's charging for a signature?
Yeah. That and
didn't he come to Phoenix and sign a bunch of shit for free?
He lives in Phoenix.
He lives here, yeah, but he always does his signings are always usually like super limited.
Yeah, he like rents out like an Alamo.
Because I know he was at Ace
Comic
Comic-Con. He was at Ace Comic-Con. I thought he was signing stuff for free at Ace.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's my thing. I don't care about books being signed. I mean, my signature when I drew back in the day was the McFarlane signature. I used his exact signature with that, looked like that old piece of paper. But to me, I don't care to get it signed. I'm not going to send everything I have to McFarlane to sign. Just a couple, 1 or 2 books maybe.
Main
just
pieces.
Main pieces.
That's definitely a good one to get signed for sure.
But I mean, I got a 300. I don't want him to mess with it. I got a 299, 298. I got Batman 423. I don't want him to mess with them.
My 300 is signed by McFarlane.
I
and
heard
the Walking Dead 100 I've got on my wall is signed by McFarlane. I've got a bunch of stuff that's non-McFarlane, like non-Spawn, non-McFarlane stuff signed by McFarlane.
And that's why I don't want to send a Spawn book. I would send that Spider-Man 1 book because that's the book that got me into collecting, right? Back in the day. So that means something. So I don't care if it comes back in 8 and 9, whatever. But I'm like $120 for a signing. I mean, I could buy a lot more with that. And I don't really care for the signature. It's just, to me, it's more about the book itself, not about the art. I mean, I like the artist, but I don't care if they sign it. It doesn't add value to me.
There's a couple, like, I don't usually care about signatures either, but there's a couple things that I would like to get signed just because my affinity for that actor, or like a couple of my Funko Pops. Like, I really want my Blunt Man and Chronic signed, but not to like sell it or anything, just because I think it'd be cool to have that signed by them.
I know you're dying for an Evan Peters sig.
I would love. I have a Quicksilver pop that's worth like $300 that I would love to get signed by Evan Peters. It's Evan Peters Pietro.
Oh, Evan Peters, can you please
and it's the Pietro when WandaVision came out, and I remember it says it was before the boner joke came out, but this pop came out and it has quotation marks around Pietro, like the name of the character, and there's quotation marks around it, and no other pop has that. So right there, that should have been my first indication that I'm pretty sure it's worth quite a bit because it's a Funko Shop exclusive.
And because it has that quotations or...
No, they all have that. It's just they only made so many of them. The Funko Shop exclusives are usually worth a bit more, like directly from Funko. Like I have a Carnage that's like $200, a Blacklight Carnage.
And who signs the Funkos? Is it the...
whoever I want. Like with this would be Evan Peters.
You're okay with the actor having it, right? It doesn't, like with me, I don't take and get Tobey Maguire to sign my Spider-Man book. I get McFarlane because Tobey Maguire had no, or Tom Holland had no bearing on that.
Yeah,
right?
But with my
Funko, but those are still fun signatures to get on a Spider-Man book.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be cooler with a Funko. Like
get The Rock signing your Spider-Man book, which would make no sense.
Like if I had a Spider-Man book or a Spider-Man Funko, and I got it signed by Todd McFarlane and Tom Holland, and like it's either or for the Funkos. Like they both.
But you could get Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire and Andrew. Like you get the actors more so than the artists for that. Like I think
no, because there's like some of my classic ones like that aren't from like movies or anything. Like I have a Spider-Man, the 80-year anniversary edition of Marvel or whatever Spider-Man. That one I would probably get signed by, like if Stan Lee was still alive, I'd get Stan Lee to sign it or something. Or
Ditko or somebody like
yeah. But even the movie stuff, like to get an artist that was like a prolific Spider-Man artist, and it was like a Spider-Man pop from No Way Home or something like that, and you get the art. Like I see that all the time.
Yeah, you're right.
Or I just think it makes more sense with Funkos to get it's just like anybody that's ever been incorporated with that
you can
character.
get anybody.
Yeah, rather than a book where it doesn't really make sense to get Kirkman to sign fucking Deadpool or something.
Right.
That was the last couple of years of Stan Lee's life. He probably signed more books that he had absolutely nothing
Stan Lee's signatures are not worth anything because he signed
so many books that he had
signed everything.
Well, is it worth the money to get McFarlane to sign these books? I mean, I got a ton I could send, but is it worth $120? I mean, again, if it's something like your Funko, you're going to keep.
Think you'll ever?
I think McFarlane's signature is going to
comic
command.
Once you pull it out of the bag, and if it's like a messed up comic, it might not be worth it if you're looking at that kind of value.
Stan Lee, McFarlane's kind of the opposite of Lee though, because like Stan Lee signed everything. McFarlane is very, very picky about what he's going to sign. He doesn't sign homages to his work. He doesn't sign any of that. Like it's his work or nothing. But
he's kind of an egomaniac.
He doesn't sign reprints.
And he doesn't do like big signings really. Like his signings are usually very limited. He's not, if he's going to Comic-Cons, he's like limited to 100 signatures. So it is very scarce. So I think as time goes, his signature is going to demand more money on bigger books because of the scarcity that he is creating for his signatures. Unlike Stan Lee, who signed every fucking thing under the sun.
Oh yeah, Stan Lee signed. Like I want to go online just to buy a Stan Lee signed pop and I could probably buy one for maybe $30.
Got Stanley's signature comic right here.
But think
above
about
my
it.
head.
every book from the 70s and 80s said Stan Lee presents, right? So
Yeah.
it makes sense he signed it. But again, he signed everything. McFarlane did DC, did Coyote, he did Marvel. But I got a graded Spider-Man. I got 298, 299, 300. I don't want to send them in. I don't know what will happen if I send them in. So take one that isn't graded, something that meant to me, why I got it, because I was influenced by that artist. Send it in, get it signed. $100, put it up on a wall, and that means more to me, like going to see your favorite baseball player or football player and getting him to sign it. But again, a CGC signing, you don't even see the guy.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want
So
to
just
I want to get my Blunt Man and Chronic signed, but I actually want to meet them. Like that means more to me to meet them
Never
than
meet
it
your
does to
heroes
get the
last.
signature.
That,
Like,
that's
I
what
have an
A lot of
Iron
people
Bob
send
that-
him away, and I'm like, why? You don't even meet the guy. He just does it in in the basement of CGC.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like, it's the signature you want, though. Like, I understand you want the experience to meet him, but a lot of times that experience isn't all it's cracked up to be. Like,
No, I remember
Meeting-
meeting Barry Bonds.
yeah, like
was
meeting
not cracked up.
meeting Stan Lee. Like, it was no talking to him. Don't look at him. Put your item in front of him. He signs it. Go on your way. No
Yeah,
questions.
see, I don't
nothing.
want
So
that.
it's
I
like
don't want that experience.
it's such an
Right.
impersonal experience, and it's kind of the same way with McFarlane when he's at cons. Like everyone's just sitting there like gargling his hog, like, "Oh, I really love your work. Oh, thanks, man." And you go on about your day. Like you're not going to get that personal experience, so it just kind of cuts out the middleman. Like you're not going to con, you're not standing in line, you're just sending your book and get it back with a signature on it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I met Barry Bonds at a in Pittsburgh at like a.
You guys see this?
how the
Harley
fuck goes-
Quinn
Stan Lee signed Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nice. But I met Bonds at some baseball clinic back in the day, and he yelled at me. Like, we went to a clinic. It was me, my brother, and another friend of ours. The friend of ours did not bring a glove. So Barry Bonds wanted me to give my Darryl Strawberry Rawlings glove to this friend of mine so he could do fly ball catches. And I said, no, this is my glove. Why would you come to a baseball clinic without a glove? And Barry Bonds yelled at me. And I still remember that to this day. I have his signature on a hat. I have his signature on a card. But it was not a very nice experience. And I met him outside of just like when he was a rookie. He wasn't even what he was, the Hall of Fame. Well, not Hall of Famer,
hadn't
but
started juicing yet.
right. He wasn't huge, but he
But I've
yelled at
heard,
me, and I was
I've
like, what
heard
a
Barry
dick.
Bonds is kind of a douche in general.
And he was a dick back then, back in 1986, when I met him with Mike Bielecki in the old. I have a Kool-Aid hat signed by that guy, but again, I still was a fan of his, and I still cherish the memory. But it was a memory. It was a what would you call it? It wasn't like you're signing at a store at a bookstore at a comic convention where he's like, just don't look at him, sign the book, and move on. Right? This was like an experience, I guess you'll call it, that we got to have when he was a rookie. So it's different than most, but that's how I would picture McFarlane signing, like you just mentioned about Stan Lee. Don't look at him, just have him sign the book and move on.
But to circle back to your McFarlane, McFarlane question for Ish. Like, I kind of agree with Ish. So I would take a separate polymer bag, cut the window out, tape off the window, remove that comic from the poly bag that it's in now, and like if you have a scanner, scan it, check all the corners, check out everything, scan it, so that way you have record of it to make sure you're actually getting your book back. Because there is a lot of people I know personally who have sent books back into CGC and not gotten the same book in return.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That would piss the fuck out of me.
Well,
Man, I got to complain while we're talking about. Sorry, go ahead, JP.
I just say I don't care what it comes back at, but I do want to get my book back, Matt. So
right.
I
would.
Hey, but something like that
scan
comes
it.
back at a high grade. I mean, you've got something valuable on your hands for sure.
I mean, it's got to be a
That,
9.6 at the least for mine, because it's been I took care of it.
That would be true. 9.6 Spidey 1, Simon McFarlane. That's good stuff.
I mean, I don't know what he might manhandle it and crinkle it, but it probably has a crease down the back of it because it's been in the poly bag. So I don't know.
Why would
But there's a lot of
polybag
stuff
put
with
a crease on the
CGC
back?
though that like they
that's like a
let
flap.
that go. Yeah, they count that as a manufacturer defect. Like if you ever
Oh,
get
okay.
like a
Yeah,
first
you won't
like
get
was
docked
it
for it.
ASM 361, the first Carnage, there's printer cuts in the bottom of the book. So there's like slices in the page from where the printer cut the books off, and that's considered a manufacturer defect. So you don't get dinged for that.
There's another one.
But Matt, see, here's a
Yep.
reason to send it in the original polybag, though, even though you've opened it, so that they're aware that if that is the
Yeah,
crease,
you could-
it's
Yeah,
from
because
something
you
that
also
came
want-
from this bag.
What
Now they're sending in on CGC that you're going to have it'll state polybag version, and for mine it's newsstand. It'll state that on the CGC label.
Yeah, so I mean,
Who's
Yeah,
Sam De La Rosa?
I would still scan it. Like even if you don't open it, you can stand it in the poly bag. I would still send it in another poly with the window cut out and still scan it, man. I would just to make sure you're actually getting your physical book back.
Who's Sam De La Rosa?
Okay.
So you know every nook and cranny of that book.
Do you guys know?
Because I'll give you a good example here of why you want to do this. All right. So there is the Amazing Spider-Man September 11th issue.
Yep.
My buddy and Kyle and I both had that book. I was getting mine signed by John Romita Jr. and he already had his signed by Romita Jr. He wanted it signed by the inker. So I did both books at the same time, got my Romita and inker signature signed, verified, sent it off. They sent me back the book with all of his stats in it. So my Romita signature was done in 2022. His was done in like 2013, 2014. It has the date. It says signed by Romita Jr. 2014. Both of them say that. Sketched by Romita Jr. Same date. Like, so
They put
even though-
Kyle's stats on your book.
Yes, they gave it the same grade, same stats, same everything because I sent those two books in together.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like there's my buddy Kyle has sent in a numerous amount of books where he's taking pictures of them and stuff and getting them back, and they're lower grade and there's smudges on the book that weren't there before. So you just got to be very, very careful.
What's his
Like,
Shazam?
that's why I always like to scan the book so I know exactly what the
Did
books
you get
are.
hair in
And
it?
I match
Yeah.
them up when I get the book back.
Oh, gross.
There's a giant fucking hair, and what
That's
I
from
just
your
bit
mom.
into.
It's only, it's just there's a little your mom hair in your beef patty. That's all. He's gonna
know.
throw up now.
Oh, man.
I've only sent 6 books in, and all. I've just got back into collecting this year, and I've sent 6 books in. And again, I guess not all of them, but most of them were books I had since I was a kid. I didn't care how they came back. I just wanted them preserved for forever,
Yeah.
as best as they can be. And some of them came back better than I thought. Some of them did not, and it didn't matter. Same with this Spider-Man book, but I was worried. Like, I don't want to send in the Spider-Man 300 I got. I don't want to send in my ASM 129 I just got. I don't really want to reholder it and try to upgrade it because who the hell knows what CGC does. So
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of the same way. I bought an ASM 50 actually from Ish's store, and I still have it. And I would love to get it graded, but I don't want to send it into CGC or CBCS right now because of the fact that they're losing books and stuff's just in shambles right now, and I don't want
Dude,
them losing my book.
CGC has some serious quality control issues lately.
Yeah.
So we've gotten back some books, a couple like nice Silver Age and Golden Age book. You can tell when they're slipped into the well, they fucking there's a whole brand new folder crease.
Yeah.
really,
Like they're grading the book and then they're ruining it as they're putting it into the well and encapsulating. I don't want to make JP nervous here, but
Well, so I had a whole.
We get a lot of books
stack
back that don't have any issues, but we've seen some where it's literally like, where's the quality control? Like, that's fucked up. Like,
well, the 6 I sent in all came back as good as I thought. Some of them not great, but I was happy. I wasn't far off on the grade. But I could send in. I have, I don't know, I'm not going to say every McFarlane, but just about every McFarlane book he made between Marvel and Hulk and Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man and Spawn, like the first. You're right, Coyote. I mean, I have the one he did, Invasion, the 3 series with Invasion he did. So I have plenty I could send in, but I don't need to get them all signed. It'll cost me a fortune, and I could put that money towards a Hulk 181. Like, I want to get one book signed, and I'm trying to decide is it going to be the Spider-Man 1 or Spawn, and just get one done. I don't need to spend $300 to get him to sign 2 books.
And I mean, in that regard, I would just do the book that means the most to you. What means the most to you personally?
I think whichever one is in the highest grade.
Signed off on the show here. He seems to in his own.
Yeah, I muted him because he's over there playing his guitar while we're on this.
He is trying to portray Ozzy Osbourne.
Unless he's writing a song about what we're talking about.
He's still over there trying to understand Star Wars.
A song about JP slapping his Spider-Man.
So, sorry, it's not as interesting as Star Wars and whatever.
Yeah,
guitars and Ozzy Osbourne.
No, it is super interesting. Like I was always against. Like, I know you're a newer listener to the show, but for the longest time, I was that one person that advocated against getting your books graded. Like, I was never a graded books guy, and I still kind of am. Like, I've sent a couple books off to get graded, but like they have to be just like old Spider-Man books that are only gonna, I don't want the value to decrease any more than they already have. So, like, most books that I get signed for myself, and I frame them and I hang them on the wall. That's all me. Like, everything that's on the wall is signed for just me.
Right.
I'm not worried about getting them graded or the value of them or this, that, and the other thing. And I kind of feel like, because at that point, like, you couldn't move a book. If you wanted to sell a book, you couldn't sell it with a signature on it without it being graded. And now I kind of feel like that has dissipated a little bit, and people will still buy books that are graded or that are signed even if they're not graded. But it's just, I'm not a big proprietor of grading for multiple reasons. Like, you can't read the book after that. You can't touch the book anymore. You lose I feel like all that nostalgia value of the book because it just doesn't feel the same anymore. There's a lot of reasons. Like, I choose not to grade books.
Well, the majority of the books you grade should be iconic covers.
Yeah.
Right. They might be keys, but they're iconic covers, and that's why you like seeing them framed on your wall. Mm-hmm. But then the ones that have that, the story you want to. I don't read comics. I like the artwork. That's what drew me in. But I'm all about get those key covers, framed, graded. It's easy to buy and sell on Instagram that way because there's no debate. When it comes to raw, that's it's maybe you get a book for a good price. Maybe it's not a key. Maybe it's more of a storyline key, and you can get it that way. But I really only get those ones that are iconic covers graded. So I see what you mean. I was never a graded person because I don't want to send my stuff away and hope I get the right one back. Like,
right.
That was always a concern of mine. I'm like, why would I send them my book? I don't trust them.
Well,
people say send them to a presser.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Let me ask you this then. So if you are a reader and you only like the art, why aren't you more in the like original comic art game versus just books and covers and stuff? Like pages and getting like the original pages.
You're not a millionaire.
Wow. Yeah, because the Frank Miller one went for $2.4 million, I guess, right? That's harder to buy. I think because I guess I grew up in the McFarlane Liefeld age, and that's what got me into comics because I drew what they put on the pages, but the covers are what.
I'm sure you did a lot better job than Liefeld at drawing.
Anyways. I didn't make the chest of Captain America anywhere near the size that he did. But
hey, since we're talking about Liefeld, can I brag that he follows my Facebook page? I got a like.
No, you can't.
You can.
Yeah, well, I just
send
did.
Him my way. Send him my way. I mean, Liefeld back back in
Liefeld blocks us.
he does.
He
Yeah,
blocks
he's
you
banned-
and
blocked
likes
by
me.
him.
We had a T-shirt that says "Banned by Liefeld."
Jesus.
Yeah.
See, unlike
Well,
Kyle, me and Rob Liefeld are friends.
So the backstory in that
That's if
is
you know the Kyle
when he
story.
released Major X, I kind of went to Twitter and trashed him and told him like asked who really is
I
still
remember those
buying and
episodes.
printing this atrocious
Garbage.
bullshit, and like I did it live on the podcast and I trashed him on Twitter and it took him an hour to block me.
Jesus. I mean, but think about it. His artwork went down over time. I mean, it was kind of like it kind of, what is the phrase? He kind of wrote it, phoned it in, right? His early work on New Mutants 98, the New Mutants 87, like X-Force. I mean, he did great work. Some of those covers are iconic. I mean, they are. You can never take that away. But over time, some of the stuff didn't hold up. But McFarlane's stuff always did, in my opinion. Jim Lee was probably the most he could draw the most realistic person. I mean, again, no one has muscles like that, but he drew them. McFarlane was just very fluid. Jim Lee was very succinct. If you want to draw great military type people, Jim Lee fit the bill for that. I mean, his stuff for X-Men was great. And I those two guys
Is
were
he the
probably
one
my
that
favorite.
wrote he has that famous picture of Cable with the huge chest?
No, that's Rob Liefeld.
Liefeld has that
Oh,
picture of Liefeld has a picture of Captain America with it looks like double D titties on him.
Yeah. Or the infamous floating head Captain America cover.
Yeah, I mean
Oh yeah, this one here's Liefeld.
his covers are iconic for all the wrong reasons, though. Like,
but
they're
you can't.
iconic
His
because of how
X-Force
bad they
one,
are.
his X-Force 1 is a great cover, in my opinion. X-Force 2 with New Mutants 98, even I think McFarlane helped him out with New Mutants 87 with Cable. So those are iconic. These ones, I think they're phoned in. I mean, he just.
Why did he do it like?
I'm just
why
saying,
is
like
it
30
drawn
years in
like
the
that?
business and your anatomy is still that of like a
Getting
second
better.
grader, you got problems.
But again, look at Sam Keith. He drew Pitt. He drew Marvel Presents with Wolverine. His stuff was, I never liked it, but as I look back at it years and years later, it was different. You guys know who
This
Sam
is
Keith
an
was,
iconic
right?
one right here, isn't it? Or no, not this one.
Isn't that Sam Keith?
Yeah. That's a pretty
look at
famous
his-
one, isn't it?
Look at his early stuff with Marvel, with Pitt or Marvel Comics Presents back with when Wolverine was on the cover. His stuff was like that one. Yep.
Why does he look like an animal?
Right. He didn't. I didn't like that.
But this
it's
one's
terrible,
Keith.
too.
This one looks cool.
No, it's terrible.
I mean,
Looks
it's
like a
terrible,
Mephisto.
but that one's terrible in my
Yeah.
opinion. But it's how he drew, and it was
That's
that
cool. Like, I like that style. Like, that's cool.
That looks very.
stylized.
That looks kind of like
it
almost
didn't
like
appeal to me, but I
anime
felt like
haunting.
that's his style.
Yeah.
That's his style. That's what's cool about it. I mean, I didn't like it, but I thought it was cool. It was a style, and Liefeld had his style. Liefeld, however you want to call it. But
However
Is
you
this
wanna
Keith
pronounce
right here? Yeah, this one looks cool.
Ish is texting right now. Can you believe they're talking shit about you on this podcast right now?
I'm like,
Oh, my
Rob,
overlord, Rob. Oh, Rob, my overlord, Rob.
I tell you, the reason I probably like Mark McFarlane the best out of all of them is because I used to draw. I was an artist back in high school, and I had a buddy, and we used to draw comics. And he would tell me that my stuff was not drawn with action, but McFarlane, everything he drew had action.
Look
to
at his fingers right here. This is Liefeld, right? Look at that.
Yes. That cover's just atrocious.
I have
His
that. I just
fingers are
found
like
that.
flat, and
I
his
just found
thumb
that.
looks like half of it was chopped off.
Yeah.
And but the chest isn't as bad in that one, of that Captain America.
No,
I
he
just found that one.
definitely toned down the chest.
Is this Liefeld?
Yes.
Looks like
Look
one.
at his foot. Look at this foot right here.
It's
Well,
hard to
look
draw
how
a foot.
long-
It is hard to
Look
draw
how
a foot.
massive his upper body is and little his waist is. And like, look how long his waist is compared to the rest of
All
his
right,
fucking body.
J. Scott
Listen.
Campbell does that all the time too.
J. Scott Campbell draws
Listen,
cat faces for
tiny
women.
You
waist.
can draw. You can
Look
play.
at his head here. Like it's way too small for his body. He looks
Listen,
like a
how
child.
easy is it, Lance? How easy is it to play Iron Man on a guitar, and how easy is it to play 1, Harvester. Give me a song that's hard to play. That's the difference. Drawing feet's hard to do, right? You can draw a hand, you can draw muscles.
Yeah,
Well,
Frazetta
Mc-
couldn't draw feet to save his
McFarlane
life.
can't draw either. He can't do anatomy.
Pull up.
This
Okay,
is,
Lance,
this is not.
pull up.
It's harder to draw feet, but like, because I draw too. Like, it would be easier to draw a
You're
foot
a
in a
tracer.
boot. No, I don't just trace.
Correct.
I
You can
draw
draw-
too. Like he's
Jim
drawing.
Lee could draw any of that stuff.
Like this is in a boot.
Lance, pull up Snake Eyes Dead Game. And I'll show you guys some recent Liefeld that I think was actually pretty good.
Right
And
here.
I'd like to see him actually on the current G.I. Joe run. Yeah, his Snake Eyes was pretty badass.
Something's up with his legs though. His legs are
Dude.
too short.
His Snake Eyes is badass because he doesn't have to draw upper lips. He doesn't really have to draw anything.
But
Every
something's weird. in
every
this
Liefeld
area.
person with lips he
There's
draws
still
looks like
plenty
they're
of
smelling a
detail
fart.
in there that he has to draw.
Is not the X-Force 1 book a good? I mean,
Yeah,
that's a great
badass.
cover.
That's badass. Snake Eyes, actually.
No,
No,
that's
but something's
terrible.
New
still,
Mutants 98,
something's
not a
still
great cover.
weird. Like his torso to his head. Something's
It's
still
too-
No, it
weird
looks
about
good.
this.
It
His
looks
torso is too long in comparison to his chest.
Dude, okay,
No.
don't ever look at any Jack Kirby art then. You guys will lose your minds.
Jack Kirby art was
If
was
this is what
terrible
you're complaining about.
in my opinion.
This is better. Is this Liefeld?
I'm not sure if that's Liefeld. Jack Kirby was iconic, but I never thought that his artwork was tremendous. It was very, plain Jane. In
So
my
how's it
opinion.
iconic then?
Yeah, this.
I don't know.
like,
It just became iconic. But I would not buy a book back in the day because it had Jack Kirby. I bought everything McFarlane or Liefeld or Jim Lee did.
this
That's what I
like
thought.
it's like he broke his arm to get his hand right here.
I don't see an issue with a lot of Kirby's art. And I'm looking at Kirby right now. Like a lot of his stuff looks proportionately accurate.
Go look up his stuff from what the hell? I just get
You talking about this? This is fucking awesome. This is Golden Age shit.
that's
I'm not saying it's not awesome,
his
but
Black
it's,
Black Panther stuff. His
body
Black Panther
parts
stuff
kind of
he
moving
did.
weird often,
Yeah, like there. I just saw
He was the most in
like Dark
proportion.
Side one where it's very.
What did he do? The what's
Yeah,
the DC
Iron
one
Man,
he
is he
did?
leaping? Is he leaping like a frog there, or is he flying?
Look, what was the one he did with Dark Side and the and Orion? What was the name of that
New
that comic
Gods.
run? New Gods. Look at that stuff. That
New
was- that
Gods
was
by who?
New
by
Gods
Jack
by
Kirby?
Jack Kirby. New Gods, Eternals. I mean, even that was.
That looks bad.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't make not everything they made. Like, not every Marvel movie is great. Not every Kirby art is great. Not every
But
McFarlane.
I mean, they're still selling like merchandise with this artwork on it.
yes, but they're
And
selling
this artwork. and
how
stuff.
much with Spider-Man 300?
Yeah,
on it.
because that's kind of part of the art. Even if it wasn't perfect, Kirby still managed to express some sort of dynamic,
The faces
action
express the expresses
and
faces, nothing.
story through imagery. And so it's like, I don't know, we don't always have to get obsessed over the precise anatomical details. It is art.
No, and it's not that, but I don't think any of his faces had any real expression.
Yeah, but that was true for like this style right here is pretty synonymous with like comics in that era.
If you're gonna
The
stylize your
expressionless.
artwork,
Sometimes I feel a
that's
Liefeld
fine,
face. Liefeld faces are kind of Kirby-esque at times.
They are, but you look at John Romita, his stuff for Spider-Man was, I thought, better than Kirby, right? And then you had Eric Larson did a great job after McFarlane was done, and he had some great runs with Venom. He's the one that invented the Venom tongue.
Like this shit, like is still
Yeah.
on stuff at fucking Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, but look at Hulk.
Yeah, it looks bad.
He looks bad.
But this artwork right here is on stuff like you go to like
Jack-
Walmart.
Jack Kirby is the Ozzy Osbourne of artists.
but hold on, it looks bad now because of how art has evolved and people have kind of tuned and made it their own, and everybody, there's no originality, so everybody builds off these characters to give them a fresh look and design. So for the time, that
back
Hulk
then
is
they weren't
pretty
going for
badass.
realism.
Yeah, like to just
But Spider-Man
create that
looks
out of
fucking
your
awesome right here.
mind.
Oh,
That's
I'm
badass.
not shit on Kirby. I
know, but I'm just saying for me, like McFarlane, dude, you've been in the business for what 30 years, and your anatomy has not changed. Like if you're doing something like
Liefeld
cool,
or McFarlane?
like Liefeld.
I'm sorry. Lee is the best artist out of all three in regard to anatomical.
Yes, he is. 100%.
And 100%. McFarlane is the middle between Liefeld and
Mm-hmm.
Jim Lee, in my opinion.
Because his like McFarlane's Venom art is some of my favorite.
Oh my God, the way he drew Spider-Man and Spawn was, he was meant for that kind of stuff. Liefeld, I think his early X-Force stuff was great. The colors
Like,
pop.
this is iconic. This cover right here is iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The way you were saying, JP. Sorry.
No, I just think they were meant for this type for these. Like the Upside Down Spider-Man was McFarlane. That the 300, how he did the webbing and how thick it was. That stuff that's huge. Kirby's.
All right,
Again,
look at the one we're looking at right here. That's kind of a Liefeld foot. That's no different.
Yeah.
But right
think
here?
about
This one?
Yeah.
No, the previous one.
Which one was that?
But again, Liefeld and McFarlane were close when it came to the feet type of thing. But McFarlane had way more. He had way more flow with a character like Spider-Man and Spawn that were swinging, and Liefeld was good if you wanted to have pockets on everybody. You just he could draw that.
Yeah,
with no
Liefeld
problem.
might as well have drawn that.
Like, for
just
me,
looking at
the
it.
best Spider-Man artists, it's Ditko and Romita Sr. Like,
Yeah,
that's
Spider-Man has been
right?
blessed with a lot of amazing artists. Alex Saviuk, Mark Bagley.
I have a signed.
I love Bagley.
There's a
Spider-Man
lot
stuff,
of good Spider-Man out there.
I think I have to go with McFarlane and Larson. Those two were probably my. Again, I grew up with that in that era, so that's why I would take them. Milgram did a good job too.
There's just something about Baylor. I can't talk now. There's just something about Bagley's Spider-Man that just looks so clean. Like his Spider-Man always looks so clean on the pages.
Yep.
My big thing is like I don't care if you're stylized or if you want to do your own thing, like that's fine. Dude, anatomy is a pretty big thing, and if you can't get your anatomy right, your anatomy and your failure to put fucking
Make
pouches
yourself
and
big,
pound
Lance.
punches and muscles upon muscles, like.
Oh, do it again, Matt. I fucked it up.
It's not letting me do it for you. Hold on. There we go.
Don't you think that's badass?
That's awesome.
This is I always forget how it's Emberlin. Randy Emberlin.
Randy Emberlin, yeah. Show it again. Show it again.
Can you see it?
It's traced.
It's a print, but it's his. Like you can tell it's a print because he signed it to me, but you can see his original signature right below it.
Yeah.
To Lance. You didn't make him right, my friend.
I like how.
No, actually, I didn't even meet him. Corbin got me this.
Oh.
Yeah. Corbin went over, got me this print, and fucking it's like one of my best prints that I own, dude. I love this picture. He's like on a gargoyle, it's like raining.
Yeah.
You know who else draws really good Spider-Man that I wish would do it more often and would actually get a book? Paul Azaceta, who does Outcast.
Here's see if I can show this.
We're showing off original art now.
Here's can you see the
Why is it still my face filling up this thing?
Then it looked like McFarlane Hulk down there back in the day.
Why can't I make JP? There we go.
Oh, who drew that?
I did.
Nice. Love
back
it.
in the day. So you see the
truly
McFarlane
original art.
Yeah, that's McFarlane to the T right there. Even signed it just like him. So
Those Venom prints of that McFarlane did though, like that to me is like prototypical Venom. Like that's the best that's my favorite way of seeing them, is like the exaggerated mouth, like the bottom jaws like super exaggerated, and like the thick webbing and everything. Why do you keep making me bit?
I don't mean to.
Oh, it's awesome.
That's
did that?
Paul Azaceta from
That's awesome.
Outcast. He did it for me at a free comic book day event at Samurai.
That's awesome.
That's about as original it gets right there.
That's
I
awesome.
would love to get something like commissioned or something like that. I think that'd be cool.
What does that cost to get something done by?
He did this one for free.
That's nice.
I also have a George Perez Spider-Man also.
I guess if you live near Amish people, you can't find the artist, so I'm stuck.
Yeah, you have to go to conventions, yeah.
I'm actually jealous, dude, because you're so close to New York. How long would it like to fly to New York? $100-200? Because
I'm not sure. It's about 500 miles from here.
So what would that be compared to us ish? 500 miles from here.
You gotta be about
Shit, that's like going to
2,000
LA.
miles.
LA's a drive, dude. Like I would feel like in New York you
Yeah.
get to see all sorts of cool shit.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey,
I can
JP,
get to New York in
do
about
you think
7 hours.
JP, do you think Marvel needs to create the first Amish superhero?
Ezekiel the first.
You know,
And he
representation
uses
and all.
like
Jebediah.
a wooden hammer, like where the head's like wooden. It's like that's his weapon.
Dude, he has the Infinity Churner.
The Infinity
Listen,
Churner,
I
the
just bought
Infinity
about-
Butter Churner.
I bought 20,
Yeah.
20 pumpkins from an Amish woman the other day, and she had no time for my jokes as I went and picked up 20 pumpkins from her at her little stand. It was hilarious. I had them they reside them at the back of my house, and those guys work from 9 o'clock until 4. And as soon as 4 o'clock hits, they drop all their tools and leave because they can't bring their own tools because they can't use power tools. I had to give them all the power tools, but they just drop them on the ground. All the screws, all the shavings are on the ground, and they leave. Get on their carriage and ride back to their house. Takes
They
them
just
2 hours
leave
to
a
get
mess
home.
there.
Just leave the mess. Come back the next day and start over again. And I'm picking up after them because I got little kids and I got nails and shivs and stuff laying around. But they just 4 o'clock drop, go, and then they come back the next day. I can hear the horse to carriage coming to my house. I can hear all the sound as it comes in the neighborhood, and then they pull up. I say, put the horse in the woods because it shits back there, right? And put the horse in the woods, and then my dog barks at the horse for 8 hours. They do their work, then they go home. And in 4 days, they did my 3 sides of my house, 2 sides in the back. Whereas one guy who did the stonework in the front, it took him 6 weeks to do the by himself.
He was not Amish.
No, he was not. He was the white guy who did the front, and the Amish did 3 sides in 4 days. Now, granted, there were 6 of them.
That sounds like what we have here, like the ones that you pick up like outside of like Home Depot and Circle K.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
This is going off the rails now.
I did not say
You talking about the
anything.
Mexican migrants?
All
Dude, I
right.
never said anything about ethnicity. That was you two and your fucking racist brains.
Here we go.
All I said was
right.
the people out there, they do fast work and they do it good, dude.
I wouldn't say the Amish do good work. They don't make great angles. The guy who did the front of my house did a much better job with angles and stuff. The Amish did it fast and did it quickly. It looks good by all means, but I wouldn't call it craftsman work.
I'm just saying, like I watched like these people do my backyard, man, like re-landscape my entire
All right. We're gonna mute that. Good night.
proud they were of their work, man. I'm Latino. I can say whatever the fuck I want.
No, you can't.
I'm part Amish. I married an Amish woman, so I'm good.
Oh, is your wife Amish?
No.
Oh,
And I'm just an asshole, so I'll say anything.
She left on Rumspringa and never came back.
You know how the Amish extend out their, because their community is pretty small. So in order to extend out their lineage, I guess they need to take the woman, bring them to a local bar, put them in a burlap sack, and then procreate.
put them in a burlap sack.
And basically you make the spot where you want to, move things along for their lineage, and they find guys at the bar. Hey, you're tall. We could use you. You look like you might be a good worker. We need your sperm, I guess is what they do.
Oh my gosh, that's like some handmade.
Aaron just showed up for the good part here.
Yeah,
Right.
Essentially, it's just like
where the dude at the bar fucks the Amish girl through a hole.
Right, but the guy fucks her in a room with like 4 other of the Amish guys watching over it. So it's like kind of fucked up. But
that's like Handmaid's Tale shit.
Exactly.
And they made that burlap sack too. That's a handmade sack.
Yeah, it's a little rough, but
that's high craftsmanship.
That's how they extend out their genes. Their gene, yeah. But everybody's willing to do it, I guess. I don't know. That's how you get that bigger, taller
willing
guy,
to do
right?
it. It's a bar. Hey, it's a Friday night at the honky tonk.
Friday night, I had enough beers, and we need a tall guy to, down the road so we can, lift higher or something.
That's just crazy.
That's how it goes.
That's why there's a lot of Amish children in Western Pennsylvania that look slightly like JP.
Don't say anything.
Aaron, I'm waiting for them to finish airing all the episodes for the season. Then Anna and I are going to start it.
We live it out here. Handmaiden's Tale, JP's Tale, whatever you want to call it. It's out here.
JP's Tale.
That Handmaid's Tale show is fucked up, man.
All right. Yeah.
Well, handmaids and burlap sacks.
Yeah.
Also, I heard Matt getting uppity, so decided to hop on and see what's going on. Matt just is always worried. He just can feel us getting canceled. You can just feel it, like it's coming. We're just gonna be canceled.
Nah, I don't care
no more
about
of your
that.
We riding the line here. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's just when Lance just goes, well, the kind you pick up outside of Home Depot, like it's like you telling your Amish story is one thing, but when Lance is like the kind you pick up outside of Home Depot, you automatically know where he's going with it. And it's like
I don't know because I don't even have a Home Depot near me. I have a Lowe's. That's it.
Yeah, well.
Oh man, you're bougie, aren't you? You got a Lowe's and no Home Depot.
I have a Lowe's and a Walmart. That's it.
That's bougie shit right there. You don't even have a Kmart.
No, most of my spending, 90% of my spending for groceries and anything home related is at Walmart.
I was watching. You guys know who Nate Bargatze is, the comedian?
No.
It's fucking hilarious. Nate Bargatze goes, "Yeah, I'm a Walmart guy. I'm not like low class like Kmart guy, but and I'm not Target. I don't have like that old money, but Walmart is just right where I'm at.
Fits right in there. And if you want a night on the town, we used to go to the mall in my old neighborhood. Here you go to Walmart.
Yep.
That's what you do in my town. Or you go see the burlap sack
at the Amish. You go to Costco because you can get a show by people watching and a cheap meal with $1.50 hot dog and pizza combo.
Issues all over that. $1.50 hot dog.
Dude, the Costco up here in North Scottsdale. Oh my God. Let's see if your mom is listening, but it is MILF City. Good
old
Lord.
Scottsdale.
He's got to check to see if his wife is.
Dude, it's crazy. Like, when's the last time you guys been on Mill Avenue?
It's been a while.
Long time because I'm not a young man anymore.
Dude, so
that place, Shady Park, has been in the news lately.
Oh, has it?
Anyways,
Mill Avenue used to be like when I was a kid. That's where we'd go panhandle on Mill Avenue. We'd bring our guitars out there and fucking play for money and shit. And it was all like busking. College students.
That's not panhandling.
Whatever it was called. We were sitting out there like
You're
homeless
busker,
kids playing
Lance,
guitar.
say it.
But so like me and my guitar player would be out there playing guitar with our case open, like getting money. The other 2 members of my band would just be going passing out flyers and CDs and stuff just up and down Mill Avenue. And so it was all like college kids and stuff back then when I was like maybe 23, 24 or something like that. Now all those college kids are over in Old Town Scottsdale, and it's a bunch of old people over at Mill, and it's all like chain stores and stuff. Like they don't have like those old mom and pop stores like there's fucking Jamba Juice and Starbucks and like all these. Yeah, and it used to be like Mill Avenue is where you went to get like there was a sub shop there that was fucking delicious that wasn't anywhere else, but now it's like a Subway. You know what I mean? Like, it's all these chain things.
It was Jersey Mike's Subway.
Silver Mine Subs, I think it was called.
Yeah, they still have one. It's on Indian School in Hayden.
Is it there now? It used to be in the
Yeah, it's
back
still-
corner
they always
of Mill
had two.
Avenue, dude. Oh,
Yeah,
they always had two.
and that's just the one. Yeah, that is a good sub place.
But we used to go get stoned and drive over there and fucking eat like 4 or 5 subs because our buddy worked there, and
We used to have a Del Taco
Awesome.
there. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Now it's
We used to
crazy,
hit up
dude.
that
They
Del
have a
Taco
fucking
all
parking
the
garage.
time.
They have a
Yeah.
parking garage at the end of Mill Avenue. And the old mill that's there, the reason it's called Mill Avenue, they had like I think it was a wheat mill, was like decrepit and like you probably catch an STD if you walked in through the front door. And now it's like
Nice.
been like remodeled and it's like a museum with all these plaques about like history and stuff on it.
Arizona's a very classy place, JP, just in case.
But
you're
all the
wondering.
college kids, all the
milfs
college kids are in
and
Old
wheat.
Town Scottsdale.
Yeah,
now.
Aaron, shout out to Chuckbox. That place
But
is awesome.
see what
for the
we do-
hamburgers,
What we do in
burgers.
Pittsburgh is we remodel the steel mills and make them like
Steel
outdoor
mills.
malls.
Outdoor malls.
Yeah,
There's
like it's
still
just
the underground piano
We
bar
make them
still
into
there.
more steel mills.
yeah, they're just malls, just like you're talking about. Like we have a waterfront down near Pittsburgh. It used to be all steel mills, and now it's like a piano bar. It's John Eagle. It's Best Buy, stuff like that. So, but
That's
they
crazy.
didn't. They turned yours into a museum and didn't turn into a mall.
It's not like a museum. They remodeled it to where it's safe to go into, and then there's plaques. So like this is what they did here at this time.
It's like a
there's plaques
historic
everywhere.
building now.
Oh, okay.
Historic
Yeah.
building, yeah. So, but before we used to go in there, like there was a big fence around it. We go in there and take our band photos. We'd hop over the fence, take our band photos in there.
I
because,
agree,
like,
Hartman, 100%.
graffiti. What?
Chuck Box sounds like a gay van.
I don't even know what that is. I'm trying to remember what that is. Chuck Box,
A gay bar? What's that? A gay bar.
gay bar.
Oh, bar.
No,
Okay.
Chuck Box is it's right off of Mill. It's the hamburger place. It's been there. Might be like one of the oldest business left on that whole area.
You
There used to be an Irish pub there that was awesome, and I don't think it's there anymore. And the big fat Greek restaurant was there. That
Whoa,
place is
whoa,
fucking awesome.
whoa.
Good. What?
don't talk about Ish like that.
Hey,
What?
I ain't Greek.
I didn't think he was.
How
What
far
if-
from Pittsburgh are you, JP?
About 3 hours.
Yeah. Have you ever been to Weirton, West Virginia?
Yes, Yes, I have.
Okay.
Years ago, as a kid, probably. I've been to like Wheeling and Weirton, and then
Are you near Hershey?
Hershey's about 5 hours from me. I went there. I was there this summer.
Okay, so
Is that a cool
I-
place
there's
to
a
go
good
to?
there's a good
Yeah.
comic book store in Palmyra
You got the squirts.
called Comics and Trade Paperbacks Plus.
What? When I
If
drove,
you're in
we,
that
we,
area,
dro-
check it out.
we drove to Ocean City, and on the way down, we stop about 2 hours from the beach the night before, and then driving the next day. On the way back, we usually try to cut the trip in half by hitting Hershey, Gettysburg, Harrisburg, whatever. So this year, I was looking for every comic shop I could find. So I may have hit that spot. I think I bought a Ghost Rider 28 at that comic shop you're talking about, because I was
Okay.
looking for every spot on my way back from Ocean City to Hershey and then back to my house. So
It's in like this this old colonial house.
yeah, there was I think I might have hit that. I bought Ghost Rider
And I
28
think they have
there.
like a butterfly emporium too. that
It
you
was
can
some. I was
visit,
like,
something that.
I stopped on the main road and just like I said to my wife, I'm getting out. You take the car, because I was in the middle of the road and I couldn't find parking. I'm like, I'm getting out right now. Here's the spot, and I think that's where I was at. It was outside of Hershey.
Nice.
So but yeah, I'll
Yeah,
look it
that's
up.
my favorite thing to do whenever I'm somewhere else is go hit up music stores and comic book shops, dude, because you find the coolest shit in just
Oh, yeah.
like off the wall comic book stores. Like, I usually always buy something.
Now, do you guys have sales tax?
Yes.
What is
Okay,
it now?
and-
It's 8%, 7%. What's it here now? Ish.
I think it depends on what part of
Yeah, in
what city you're
Scottsdale it's 8.03.
I think
city
where I'm
and
at, it's like
county tax
7.8 or something like that.
Delaware has no sales tax. So there's a comic book shop in Delaware, like Dewey Beach, like right around there. No sales tax. So if you want to buy a big book, buy it there.
Doesn't Texas have no sales tax?
a
Like
lot
the
of places have no sales tax.
Most of Pennsylvania is up like 6 or 7%. Where New York above me is at 8. You guys are said you're above 8. So
They just got
Nevada
our
has no
governor
sales
just
tax.
they have no sales tax.
Oregon.
They just
Nevada has
our
no income
governor
tax.
our governor here just got rid of something. What tax did he just get rid of?
probably Home Depot
I don't
tax.
I don't know.
Was it?
I didn't hear about that.
But I mean, you guys have people come to Arizona because for retirement. People go to Dewey Beach, go to Ocean City, go to those beaches for retirement. So your tourist type should support your economy enough that you can.
We used to be very low taxed. I remember
you
back
should
in the day, Phoenix tax was like sales tax was like 1%. That's when everybody started moving here. Now we got all the California people moving here, and our taxes are going straight up.
It makes no sense.
They're all voting for tax raisers.
But you should pay more. You should pay more for your real estate because where you're at, not for your sales tax. Like the real estate and that kind of stuff should make up for the difference, not the sales tax. I thought that was pretty neat at Delaware,
Property tax goes up every year.
It's
right, but your sales tax shouldn't because you're already paying the sales tax. You're already paying property tax.
What is a flat tax?
Flat tax is whenever you pay a certain 10% or you it's every per
just one number for all taxes across the board.
Right. If you no difference.
On September 29th, he just passed. We'll have the lowest flat tax in the country at 2.5%.
I mean, think about it. If your taxes you have a marginal tax, so you pay more every dollar more you make.
Yeah, so the average sales tax in the state of Arizona, Macomb County, and the city of Phoenix is 8.6%.
So the average taxpayer will receive a 13% income tax reduction, saving families $350 a year.
I spend almost that in comics every 2 weeks.
So we're supposed to, our taxes are supposed to drop to 2.5%.
That's what it says right here. This is
that's
azgovernor.gov. Governor Doug.
That's what I'm looking at right now. Yeah.
Yeah, 2.5% flat tax, but I don't know what. So does that mean our sales tax drops?
Flat tax on what?
I don't know. It doesn't explain what.
I think that's it might be income tax.
Yeah, because I think I pay 3% in Pennsylvania. Then you got your property tax, you got your sales tax. They're all different. We still have a tax on cigarettes from 1919 in Pittsburgh because of a bridge.
How much
collapse.
is a pack of cigarettes there?
I haven't bought them in I don't know how long, but I think they're about $8 now.
Yeah, about the same. What it is here.
Yeah, so this is for income tax, Lance.
Oh, it just seems weird they use a term like flat tax, doesn't it?
Well,
that means that everybody in Arizona pays 2.5,
no matter what their income is.
If you're a millionaire or
it's a consumption tax.
Minimum wage.
Yeah,
it's a consumption tax.
2.5.
So that's good, right? Like that's a good thing.
If you consume more, you pay more.
13% decrease.
I'll tell you what,
13% tax cut is nice.
And it's
just send your W2s or over to Absolute Geek Podcast at gmail.com and Schmucks will do your
yeah, we should just turn Absolute Geek into a charity and then people can get charity write-offs.
Well, I went to Black Adam today. I'm going to write that off just so you know.
Yeah, there's goddamn tax.
I should have as a comic book retailer, any sort of if I have to go see a comic book movie, She-Hulk.
Yeah.
All that time I spent watching She-Hulk should be some kind of fucking tax write-off. I need to write it off, man.
Let me ask you something. So since you're buying books off of people, right? The books that you sell, are you charging a sales tax on those?
No, or is it just new books? There's no reseller tax.
That's what I thought. So it'd be double dipping.
So if we buy from another store or buy from whatever, that's tax free.
Yeah, but if I sold a car to somebody, I have to pay a tax on that car, correct?
Well, right, you have tax, title, and license, but
unless the person you're selling the car to is also selling the car, then you don't.
But if you sell to a dealer, they charge you. Like my cousin had said, years ago, he said, "Why did you sell your Jeep outright? You should have just brought it to me. I'd have saved you the tax on it." But the dealers, I guess the dealer can save that on it if you sell to a dealer.
Well,
I don't know,
private
I just-
sale, there
that's
is
not-
no income tax. There's no sales tax on private
But you have to
sales.
report it when you go to your, when you go into your AAA, whatever you do to transfer the title, you have to tell them how much you bought it for and how much you sold it for. You're
That's
supposed
why I
to
always do
anyway.
$1.
Right, exactly. But
But I don't think, like, I've bought cars from family members before. I've never had to pay a tax.
you have to pay tax on what the difference is from what they bought it for and what you sold it.
Well, if you declared the money you made,
right,
and
you
the
can just say it's
FBI
$1.
tax, so
But
that's
I
why
don't
you
remember
declare
ever
that.
having to declare, like, I just bought a trailer, for instance, and he went into his app, transferred the title to me, and then I
Hello?
just paid for the title.
IRS? Yeah, his name's Lance.
I never had
Speroni.
I never had to declare how much I paid for that trailer. There was no.
Well, the
Not how much you
DMV did the
paid.
transfer.
He might have to declare how much he earned. He shouldn't.
Right,
have
when you-
to, but
When you sell a
They
car,
want
you
him
have
to.
to pay.
That's double dipping. How can you charge tax twice on the same item?
That's why we have a lovely government.
Doesn't make
that's
any
why
sense to me.
taxation is theft.
I've bought
Yes.
probably
Add a hash brown to that.
I've bought probably 6 or 7 cars from private owners, and I don't think I've ever been asked how much.
But
I
you
bought
you had
for.
to go to DMV to go transfer the title.
Yeah, when you pay your
You have to
registration,
on the
just
back
do it,
of the
just do it in the
on
app
the
on
back
my
of the
phone.
title when they give it to you. You're supposed
We just
to
have
write
an
it in.
app.
Yeah, you're
No, we
supposed to
just
tell
have
them
an
what you bought
app
it
on
for.
our phone. There's just an app on your phone that I can do it all from my app on my
What
I don't
phone.
know.
app are you
Transfer
Around
the
here,
title.
you gotta tell them what you bought it for.
That might
And
be
again,
a
if-
Pennsylvania thing. I don't think you have to
No,
do that here.
it's here too because I don't know what world you live in, but there's
It's called
no
MVD. It's
there's
an app that I have on my phone.
venereal disease.
yeah. When you sell to a
Yeah,
private
it's not
seller,
called
you
DMV here.
they
It's called
hand
MVD.
you
Isn't that stupid?
when you sell to a car to a private seller and they hand you the title, when you take it to go get the car put in your name at the title at the DMV here, they look at the back of it and they require you to put down how much you bought the
The
car. That's why
last
most people only put
Right.
$1 because they can't tax the shit out
The
of you. that
last
way.
2
Right.
things I bought, I bought the trailer just 6 months ago, and I bought a car like 3-4 years ago, private seller. I did the transfer of the title in the app, and it never asked me for a bill of sale or anything. They just had to go into their app because it's digital titles. They just had to go into their app, say I sold it to this, so maybe they're declaring how much they sold it to me for.
Yeah,
So they
because they're
said I
paying the
sold to
tax.
this person, and then
Yes.
I accept the title, and now I have the title.
Or somewhere out
that's-
there you've been duped and you don't actually own that shit. It's stolen
You as
property.
the seller are the one to have to pay that transfer title and pay the tax on it because that's for mine. No,
So the
not
seller
guy
is
buying
paying it. So I've never
seller has to
sold
pay the
anything
transfer tax,
privately.
but the person buying it has to declare it what they bought it for because if they go back and sell it, and again, you can say $1,000 at 6%, isn't it like outlandish? So you don't want to, at least you put something down, right? You don't put down $1. Right? You can, but
I've never been asked that.
no, we do. I don't sell a ton of cars, but
you
enough
can't
that
put
I
down. I didn't pay money. I just handed out a couple blowjobs. And now I have this car.
You can
No,
do that too. I
I
mean,
didn't like
the trailer-
it's a
the trailer's
service.
most-
It's a service.
The trailer would be the same thing, right? Because it has a title, so it'd be the same as a
Right.
car, right?
Yep.
I paid $400 for this trailer. He sent me the app, or he sent me the title in an app, and then I registered it in my name, got a new license plate. They never once asked me how much I paid for it. So I'm wondering
I
if maybe it's just maybe he says how much he sold it to me for.
He does, but he
Is
has to pay sales tax on that price. So that's the difference. Like when you trade in a car, you save the sales tax. When you sell it outright, you have to pay the tax on it.
You're going to pay the tax anyway every year for the registration. So they don't care how much.
Yeah,
you
in
pay.
Arizona, it says no casual sales between private parties are not taxable. When you register your vehicle at the MVD, bring a copy of your bill of sale and any documentation that shows you purchased the vehicle from the private party.
Yeah, there's no sales tax.
Obviously,
Nice.
that app authorizes that you bought that car from that person.
But they never ask you how much you bought it for. Right? That's what that thing's saying that you're talking about, right? It just wants proof that you purchased it.
Let's see what that's
But he's essentially doing that in the app when he transfers the title to me.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's no tax that we pay for private sales. That was the same thing. Like there was private, and I think they just made it illegal, like private gun sales or something like that. like a lot of people did private gun sales because you never had to pay. Like there was a ton of fees that you wouldn't have to pay if you did private.
You have
And
to
there was
wait
no
the 7
background
days.
check.
private gun sales too is like the gun's registered to somebody else. It ain't registered to you. So
Yeah, but there was no background, so they just closed that loophole. I think did they make it illegal?
Yeah, it only can be done at certain gun shows. I mean, every state's different, again, but Pennsylvania is.
It's like buying graded comics, out at the parking lot at Walmart. There's no taxes involved.
That's the best way to do it. Or
I do it
at a
because goddamn
Costco.
shops are killing me.
So I wasn't wrong. I've never been asked how much I've paid for a car. But I know if I buy one from a dealership, whether it's used, because I bought used cars from a dealership before.
That's only
and
because
I had to pay tax, title, and license.
But you don't pay the tax if you trade in a car and buy a new one. You only pay the tax if you sell one outright and then buy another one somewhere else.
So this says if the car is out of state, if it's registered out to an out of state owner and you purchase it in the state of Arizona, you will have to pay sales tax.
Oh, see, I've never done that. I've always bought it in state. But no, because like I traded in my Ford Explorer for a Chevy Suburban, right? Both were used, JP. And when I traded in my Ford Explorer, they took the money that they wanted to pay me for it. And then when I bought my Suburban from that same dealership in the same sitting, I had to pay tax, title, and license when I bought my Suburban.
But you didn't have to pay it on what you traded in your car for.
No.
Right.
No.
Yeah, you save. Like I traded in my Jeep years ago and bought something else. But that's what I should have done. Not should have, but I sold it to somebody outright at a different dealer because they gave me more money. Went to my cousin and bought the car from him, and he said, "Why didn't you come here with the Jeep? You would have saved yourself $500 because the trade-in saves you the tax on the sale, the first sale, the primary sale, right, of your car."
So you had to pay tax. You had to pay tax on the car you bought, or you had to pay tax for your trade-in?
I had to pay tax on the money I made from my car, so it cost me $500, I guess, in taxes. Where I could have taken that and rolled it into the trade, I guess, is what he was saying. But I was 21 at the time. I was like, "What are you talking about?" But
yeah, I don't think I've ever had to pay tax for a trade-in.
As long as you do it at the same dealer you buy the car from. So when you do the trade at the same time. So if you went to the dealer A, sold the car outright, got cash, came to the dealer B and bought the next car, they have to charge you tax on your new car, right? But that 10,000, let's just say for a number, 10,000 you got from the car you traded, you can save that tax on that 10 grand because you basically. Sorry, I know it's crazy.
This is riveting conversation here, boys.
You basically,
hey, man, I wanted to ask you: are you wearing the
same?
Well, go ahead, JP. Sorry.
No, you're better off to just trade in the car directly to the dealer.
That's usually how I've done. I don't think I've ever traded it into a dealer without the intention of buying a car there.
All right. Sorry, I'm in the financial world, so
hey, are you wearing the My Chemical Romance Doctor Strange shirt?
No, sir. I'm wearing the My Chemical Romance Rogue
Gambit shirt. I like that one. Did you get that from Once Upon a Tea?
I did.
I like that shirt. They had a Doctor Strange one that it was what was it? Narcissistic? Or no, that might have been Loki. My Narcissistic Romance or something.
This one's My Impossible Romance.
Yeah, I like that one. All right. Well, I don't know, man. We don't have anything. We've had such riveting conversation about tax.
Well, let me ask a question. Was it more riveting tonight or more riveting last week when we talked about Ozzy Osbourne?
I mean, I think you're on equal grounds, man. You can't
which is better? Come on now.
Yeah, that's like
6.5 dozen the other, right?
Chocolate or vanilla.
Matt, do you want to close the show or do you want me to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it. No, go ahead, Lance. You started it. I'll let you finish strong.
Well, that brings us to the end of our show. Thank you for sticking around, all 8 of you live. This is the Absolute Geek Podcast, and until next week, I am Lance.
I'm Matt.
That's Ish, and that's JP.
I'm Ish.
JP.
Way to learn your cue, guys.
Sorry, we're new to this.
That's
Matt.
Ish.
That's Ish.
That's JP. That's not.
Hey, you don't hit the button. I hit the button.
Let's just get this straight. I've been doing all night long.
All you freaks and geeks, Come all you freaks and geeks. Let's listen to Absolute Geek.
Absolute Geek.
We'll go ahead and spread our cheeks.
I apologize to everyone
drink
who
some
was offended
Cosby
with
wine.
We'll drink some Cosby wine. It makes me feel real fine. See you next